backflipping out of the start gate. This place is erupting.
Saying hello to the new world champ, baby.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the YETI Xtreme Verbier presented by Honda. This is the grand finale of the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance for 2025. World titles are on the line. The Bec des Roses is the backdrop. My name is Derek Foos. I'm here with Hadley Hammer, and we are ready for an absolute fireworks show here on the Bec. Hadley.
I can't believe we're here. I can't believe the season is wrapping up, and what a place to wrap up the season.
It is the ancestral home of Freeride. The Freeride World Tour got its beginnings here back in the 90s, and we are still going here. Finals ready to go. The athletes are primed, and we have been across the globe, traversing the world, different venues, different snow conditions all season long. And here's a look back at what got us to this point.
What a ride. The 2025 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance has been an incredible adventure. 5 thrilling stops at exciting new locations alongside iconic favorites. From low-tide rock rides to ripping perfect POW, the mountains and Mother Nature played with our nerves and made our dreams come true. We copped brutal cold, minus 30 degrees Celsius in Canada.
Cold, mommy.
But scored some of the deepest snow the tour has ever seen on our long-awaited return to France. New stars were born, blowing minds with huge sends and jaw-dropping tricks. Noémi Equy claimed the Snowboard Women's crown with one event to spare in Fieberbrunn, proving she was truly unstoppable. Not every day was bluebird and powder. Unpredictability was the name of the game. With huge crashes, exhilarating highs, and crushing lows.
There will be no competition today. No!
And lots of good times. With 60% of the riders surviving the cut, the grand finale is going to be the most competitive ever. A fitting end to an epic season.
Oh, unbelievable memories. Hadley, that really sums up the whole spirit of the Freeride World Tour. The riders out there, I mean, the competition is part of it, but the travel, the camaraderie, that's such a huge aspect of this whole thing.
Yeah, you can tell the athletes are even getting sad that this is the last one, that this is the last time they're riding with these people that they've been riding with all season long. And it's that mix of they're super focused, they're a little scared, and they also don't want to say goodbye to their good friends.
Yeah, the intensity of the cut and now the intensity of finals. The riders have been having a blast here in Verbier. We are running D-2, which means 2 days before the start of the weather window. So the riders were showing up. They were able to hustle and rally, get here early, get a look at the face. You know, a big part of the reason for that was the weather is going to be changing, but these athletes have been having a blast in Verbier as always.
It's such an iconic place to finish the whole season. I mean, 30 years ago, people came here for the first time, and these athletes are just adding their names to that history book.
Well, we see on the screen, this is our esteemed panel of Freeride World Tour judges. They are ready for the show. We have Jacqueline Pollard, we have Laurent Bess, Bertie Denervaux, and Laurent Gauthier, and Cyril Neri stepping in as video judge, one of the most experienced video judges we've ever had. This guy, he knows what he's looking at, and they all know what they're looking at and looking for. We have an opportunity to chat with Commissioner and Head Judge Lolo Bess. Lolo, we've got some questions for you. We're wanting to know, how is the pressure, if it's any different, judging at the finals than any of the other competitions?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, so Lolo here. Yes, definitely. I guess if for the riders, that would be probably one of the most exciting venues to ride on. For the judges, is something where we're going to have a lot of pressure judging it. Not only it's a big mountain, but also the fact it's the finals.
Hey Lolo, it's Hadley. Is there anything specific in the judging that you're looking for here in Verbier compared to the rest of the venues?
For Verbier, what's sure is, as a judge, what we are going to look for is commitment. I think the word is commitment. This is the biggest mountain we'll have the whole season, and looking at the snow conditions, the type of features and no fall zone, all our focus will be drawn into this criteria.
All right, well, commitment is what the judges are looking for. Commitment is what the riders have. Thank you, Lola Bess. We are going to take a look here at the criteria that the judges are going to be looking at and looking for when the riders are doing their runs. From top to bottom, they want to match up their runs as best they can to the judging criteria. We have line on the Bec des Rosses. That is the king and queen of all of this. The more difficult, the better. The judges love it when you put yourself into difficult situations and make it look easy. Control is the next big one. A hand down, you're dinged on points. A back down, or your skis or a snowboard come off, that's a heavy, heavy dock and control. And then fluidity, technique and fluidity, always important. Air and style, kind of a new piece on the Bec. This is heavily featured in Freeride across the rest of the series, but on the Bec last year we saw more freestyle than we've ever seen before, and with the Petit Bec in play, Hadley, I think this year we may see a lot of freestyle action.
Exactly. You know, this historically was a venue where just steep, fast skiing was highlighted, and now these athletes are combining the steep and the fast with the tricks. The level is through the roof here. It is above the elevation of the Bec des Rosses, which is the highest of all our venues. The athletes are just pushing.
Yeah, pushing hard, and let's get a look here at what they're pushing on the iconic Bec des Rosses with our GoPro face preview.
Here it is. 30 years ago, this is the venue that was chosen for the first Freeride World Tour. This thing is steep. We have 3 different starts. The commissioners evaluated the snow, and this is what we're working with this year. Start 1 and 2 on the Petit Bec, and start 3 about a third of the way down the regular Bec des Rosses. Again, steep. We're pushing high 40s into the 50s in our steepness. There are closeouts, mandatory airs, huge cliffs to trick off of. It's got that northeast aspect. Wraps around a little bit more, hits the sun. The riders have a lot of options here today.
Yeah, and the Forerunners gave us a really good look at where the snow is good, and also maybe more importantly, where the snow isn't good. The aspects that are a bit more easterly facing have seen some sun effect on the surface. We had Maxime Chablot as our Forerunner in start 2, and he said it was a very distinct line, even in the upper entrance couloir from one side to the other. Powder on one side, a bit of I think he called it unpredictable crust on the other. So the riders at least have that information going into this.
Yeah, and they'll have to adjust their lines now. You know, it's always smart for these riders to have option A, B, and C, and as the Forerunners go down, as the riders go down, be able to make decisions a little bit on the fly.
Exactly. All right, well, let's take a look at the backdrop today, the weather in Verbier, Hadley.
Hoo la la, it is a beautiful day for a competition here. 2 degrees Celsius, blue skies from here to France, probably to Italy. We're having a lovely day. There's a touch of wind, which will keep that snow cold. 10 to 20 centimeters of light powder that we have in parts of the venue, and then on sort of this sugary snow or hard packed base layer. So like Derek said, we've got some variability on this face.
Yeah, a little bit of everything for the riders to manage. These are the best free riders on the planet, so they know exactly what they have to do, and they understand the canvas that they're working with. 3 starts, 3 different areas of the face. Not a lot of crossover between the directions you can go in the starts. We are so excited to get going here with the YETI Xtreme Verbier by Honda. Stay tuned with us right here, because we are coming back with live action from the Freeride World Tour. The YETI Xtreme Verbier by Honda. Stop number 5 of the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance in 2025. This is the final. This is where it all boils down to the performances on the Bec. We will be crowning 3 world champions today on this mountain. The riders are so excited. Well, it's a delicate balance between excitement and nerves. If you're just joining us, welcome back. I'm Derek Foose. I'm joined by Hadley Hammer. We are going to be bringing you all the action for the Xtreme Verbier today, the 30th edition. We're seeing the riders loading up into the helicopter. I think that's Wei Tian Ho there, little face poking out. And everybody is so ready. It's been a bit of a rush job here. We've got some weather coming in, Hadley, so, you know, the decision to move it up was a tough one, but looks like the right one today.
Yeah, the commissioners don't have the easiest job, but they are there to make sure the athletes have the best venue that they can, the best weather, the best opportunity, and a good amount of safety. And yeah, my palms are already sweating for today. I believe this is a venue that does not translate on your screen to how steep it is, how committing it is, how big these cliffs are. We are in for a show.
It truly feels like a punch in the stomach when you step off the jumbo gondola and see this mountain for the first time in real life. It doesn't, as you said, it doesn't translate at all. Snowboard Men is the first category of the day today, and we are going to be taking a look back at one of the most iconic moments in Snowboard Men from Xavier Delarue.
Xavier Delarue, 2010, in the start gate from the top of the Bec de Ros, opened up a brand new cliff here on the Bec de Ros, just massive.
I mean, this guy is cemented in the Freeride Hall of Fame. Having a feature on the Bec named after you is, well, it's iconic. I don't even know if you could go more superlative than that. But Xavier Delarue, you know, 3 world titles. He's got multiple wins here on the Bec, living here in Verbier, raising his family here. His daughter is now killing it on the Challenger Tour, and I'm sure we're going to see her on the Freeride World Tour soon. Extremely exciting moments, and for younger brother Victor, an opportunity to pass his brother this year in number of world titles earned. So there's a lot going on just in the Delarue family here as we take a look at some of the riders, the fans, everybody gathering themselves, getting ready for this huge day.
Yeah, all these last-minute preparations, controlling the nerves. You can see these riders are asking the pros, asking their coaches, asking each other good feedback, and yeah, getting themselves really excited for this day.
Yeah, this venue has, I mean, it's complicated scoping for the riders, especially with the 3 different starts. They really have a lot to look at, and the commissioners and judges advise them to choose a few different lines in case things change with multiple rider traffic or slough, or, I mean, all the variability that can happen. So we have a deeper check-in to all of what's been going on to get things ready behind the scenes with our Mammut venue check.
Here as well in Verbier, we've got our stairway to heaven. Looking at the venue today, there is no way we want to put any track. There's about 10 cm of new snow, very fresh, very light. Anything that we're gonna do is gonna trigger a lot of slough. So the idea now is to go on a venue which we used for the Junior World Championship a few years back. And it's exactly the same orientation, same sort of steepness, same amount of rocks around, so we'll know if it's getting sugary or not, and that will give us the essential insight on the snow condition on the Bec de Ros. So then we'll be able to take a decision on is the conditions or are the conditions good enough or not. Here we are, Montion. You can see behind me, this is Bec de Ros over there. And we are pretty much same altitude for what we can see so far. It is like this 10 cm of very, very fresh snow who fall 2 days ago. And it's just going like as a slough, like super quick and everywhere. So yeah, it's going to be complicated. So day 2 of preparation. We're at the back of the Bec. This is the source face, and Claude Alain, Sylvain, Bertie and I are going to check where we're going to put the start, and starting also the boot pack for the riders to climb up. After checking the snow conditions yesterday on different venues, exactly the same aspect as on the Bec des Roses, we're here halfway through the venue. At the moment, as you can see, it's full of rocks, and there's absolutely no way we can start from the really top of the Bec des Roses. So the options are Petit Bec, start 1 and 2, the traditional ones, and we're going to put a start 3 just above the Hollywood Cliff, which will give exactly the same amount of features that if you start from start 1 and 2, and also it will be the same hike for the riders to go up to start 1 and 2 or start 3. Oh putain. Boot pack done, starting gates, all the anchors have been already set, so let's get a few turns now. Woo!
That's a great look behind the curtain at all the work that goes into getting this set up, Hadley. It's an incredible lift for the Freeride World team to put this all together.
Exactly. When I was an athlete, I really had no clue what was going on behind the scenes, and now being on the other side, it is mind-blowing and eye-opening how much work goes into each of these competitions to get each of these venues set up. It is no easy feat to put, I mean, look at where that start gate is resting. It's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, you can see Victor de la Rue there up on top, looking down at the finish, looking to break his brother's record of 3 overall titles on the Freeride World Tour. We're going to take a look here at our overall ranking. As you see, Victor de la Rue sitting on top. He is the current leader, and if Victor basically finishes, well, anywhere on the podium, he's going to have the title. He's also chasing the overall title record of Marian Herty. Marian right now holding 4 world titles. Victor would love to equal that record that his countrywoman holds right now as the winningest rider on the Freeride World Tour. Victor very close with 3, but there's a few riders down the rankings that are definitely looking to have a say. Liam Rivera, if he wins and Victor is 4th or lower, Liam can take the title. As well, Cody Bramwell, same thing. If Victor is 4th or worse and Cody wins, he can take the title. There's even an outside chance for Jonathan Penfield, if he wins and Victor is last and Cody and Liam are outside the podium. There's a lot of math going on here, but we basically have 4 people that are in play for the title today. Holden Samuels, Enzo Nilo, and Michael Mon will be kicking off the day. He's going to be the first rider out of the gate. So all to play for here on the Snowboard Men's field for the Freeride World Tour. Hadley, it's so exciting. I'm just buzzing right now.
So exciting. I love the finals that actually matter. You know, like it's not over. They still have to perform well on this Bec, and it's going to be quite an exciting day.
Yeah, and definitely executing on the day is, well, all of these riders' specialty. Every one of them has done it all season long and put themselves into position. Here you see these are our 3 favorites. Victor de la Rue, anything on the podium, and he is world champ for a 4th time. Liam Rivera and Cody Bramwell have an outside chance. They need to win, and they need a very specific set of results from Victor. So it's all in play. It's exciting. Victor's a hard man to bet against on this face, though.
He is. So here is our start list for today. Michael Mon, who has been first for a few of these competitions, opening up the Bec, which is a huge level of stress. Enzo Nilo right behind him, Holden Samuels, John Powell, and then again, Cody, Liam, and Victor will finish off and hope that he is securing the title. But again, Cody and Liam, you know, they finished really well the last few comps, and Victor had some crashes, so the pressure is on.
Yeah, if you've got your brain turned on, you may have noticed that start list is in exact reverse order of the current World Tour standings. So we will be building the drama throughout the category in all 4 categories today. So the The first one on the good side of the cut will be dropping first, and then down to the person in the golden bib. There we see Camille Armand, Freeride World Tour standout, checking in with his friends. The spectators are lining. Every ridge, every bit of real estate possible is in play. There's for sure raclette sets out. We had a propane pizza oven up here last year from one of the groups of spectators. Everybody is fired up, and I got to say, fantastic spectating weather for Freeride.
I mean, it's hard to have a venue that has a massive tram going right to the viewing area. We are so lucky here in Verbier. It's just set up for Freeride.
It is perfect, and even the little guys, he's going to catch the vibe. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get up early for the young Freeride fans, but we're getting there.
I believe
that is Victor's
Victor's
family, yeah. So he's getting excited for Dad. We're going to dive into the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. This is Fantasy Freeride. This is your opportunity to get some skin in the game, and 93% of you feel that Victor de la Rue will land himself on the podium today, and if he does, he's world champion for a 4th time. Cody Bramwell getting 64% and Liam Rivera 62%. Don't worry that these numbers don't add up to 100. This is a vote for somebody to be on the podium. Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get in the game. Prizes galore available at the end of the season. There we see Lily Bradley getting themselves ready to back up that big win in Fieberbrunn. So much at stake today, so much action. The Bec providing the backdrop. Look at this pile of rocks. If a child drew a mountain, this is what they would draw.
Exactly. Though I don't know if they drew it, they would still want to ride down it. And again, you know, a lot of these riders, particularly the ski men, they've had a long season, and this is quite the venue to finish on.
It is, yeah. You know, listening to all the riders at Face Check, there are definitely some big plans brewing in all 4 categories. There's the pressure of results, but in this event, there's also the pressure to show for a rider to show their absolute best. They know the world is watching, and we are just about set to go. We have the start gate, and we have our first rider of the day, Michael Mon. He's got a podium finish from Val Thorens, France. He has been on the Freeride Tour. I'd say I call him a mainstay even. He's got multiple wins in his career, mostly coming from Spain, and a podium run. And Michael Mon is on the back.
He is on the back right into that steep chute, coming off of that 4th in Fieberbrunn that put him over the line. So a somewhat unexpected appearance here, and riding through into the shade, onto the darkness. You can see how steep it is, right into that first air, and again, you can see that slough running, which he'll have to manage as being the first rider.
Michael Mon coming into this Geraldine Fashnot closeout and going over the front there. That landing proving tricky for Michael Mon. That closeout air named after Geraldine Fashnot, who was the first rider to open it up. The landing is tricky, and that air is much bigger than it has been in other years with this bit of a low tide season here in Verbier.
Exactly. Every cliff on this venue some are almost double their normal size, so these athletes are committed to going big. Michael still staying strong, recovering well from his crash, and making his way down into the finish line. I wonder if part of that was how much slough was moving around him and landing with that slough continuing on.
Yeah, it had a bit of a Niagara Falls look as he was coming over, and when you're going off a cliff in your slough, you can't exactly see where the takeoff is, can't exactly see where the landing is, and looked like his nose just dipped. We've got the YETI cooler jump in the finish area there, so Michael Mon, he is safely qualified for the 2026 Freeride World Tour, but he was looking to put a stamp on the Bec today. Unfortunately, going down Hadley as we look back at the replay.
Here is that top air, solid right over his board, moving his way into the shade, and then, yeah, look how much slough is moving with him, and it looks like he just went a little top heavy.
Yeah, Michael Mon, physically one of the strongest riders on the tour, but this is putting even the best athletes to the test. It looked like maybe it was a bit firmer too than he was expecting, and we did get that feedback from the forerunner Maxime Chablot that the landing is stiff, but good. You just need to hit the transition of it. So Michael Mon a little bit coming a little bit unstuck there as we see our Mammut line tracker fall line approach for Michael.
Very fall line approach. Again, here you can see the judges are going to ding certainly on the control, but he did ride the rest of the line strong and with great fluidity. Yeah,
absolutely. So Michael Mon safely down the Bec in the finish. The relief that a rider feels when they are at the bottom of this mountain. So 39.67. benchmark score, but with a crash. So I think we'll see that step right up as we make our way through the Snowboard Men's field. Michael's going to take a spot in the hot seat, and he's got the best seat in the house to watch the rest of the Snowboard Men.
Exactly. Bringing ourselves back up. Look at this venue. It's just a refrigerator on that side.
Yeah,
so dark, so cold, so steep.
That traverse line that you see on the right side of your screen is how the riders access start number 3, which we are zooming in on now for the next athlete in the gate, none other than Enzo Nilo, hailing from the Trois Vallées in France. Enzo has had such a strong start to the season, kicking off with a win. You know, he was cut from the Tour, then he won the Challengers, he requalified, and then coming back to the Tour, locking himself in with a win, and he has been looking to recreate that result. He, Camille Armand, and Victor de la Rue, you know, part of the Freeride Fiasco team, and Enzo Nilo on the back now out of start 3, the first rider we've seen from this section.
So exciting to watch. This is where we saw the snowboard forerunner come down and join sort of the more consistent snow on this side immediately into an air, but you can tell how steep it is, how fast he's riding.
Yeah, Enzo using that heel side edge to control his speed as he comes down now into the heart of this central section of the Bec des Roses, winding his way through that maze of rocks and seeking out his next feature. It's really hard for the riders to find landmarks here because everything looks the same. Right off the nose, Enzo, clean reception into the landing and now out into the apron. He just needs to keep it pointed downhill. Not a turn yet on this entire lower apron of the Bec.
Searching for that sun, which has got to feel double good to finish the Bec and be in the sunshine. That was a great landing on that last run.
Yeah, those landings on that side are generally a little bit steeper than some of the ones over on the Petit Bec side. Enzo flying off the Yeti cooler jump, and you can just see in the body language how it feels to finish a run.
It's over! It's over!
Let's look back up again. Look how steep it is, how quick he is to line himself up and just create these perfect transfers into the landing.
Yeah, the judges' bars absolutely pinned there. The control and technique through the roof. This final air for Enzo, so clean. He understood the assignment. Figure out where the transition is, put the board. We watch as he lays the tail of the board into the snow first to allow himself a little bit of leeway in case it's punchier than he expected. But the snow on that side, I'd say, is more consistent than it is over on the Petit Bec side.
Really impressive riding for only his second year on the tour. That is some veteran stuff.
Yeah, Enzo Nilo, he was a battler. You know, he lost his spot on the tour, but he fought back and proved his worth there with the, well, first in Val Thorens and a 79.33. So the judges definitely giving a nod to that run. Ultra fall line, super direct, very controlled, everything they want to see. Enzo just delivered in spades on that run. So great start here for Snowboard Men as we are 2 riders deep into a 7-rider category. As we said, world titles on the line, records on the line, family pride on the line at the De La Rue household. Lots at stake here as we're looking back up. You can see the start 2 and start 1 there. Start 2 is on your left, the rider's right, looker's left side, and start 1 there over it. It's powdery, but definitely a little rocky over on that side. We'll see how many takers that start 1 gets as we are back into start number 2 with Holden Samuels. Holden, the Moonlight Basin rider. He's been building. He had a rough start to the season, and then he found himself on the podium both at Kicking Horse and Fieberbrunn. So picking up momentum and maybe peaking at the right time for Holden.
I think so. He's been riding over in St. Anton in the break between comps, and it looked like he was just gaining confidence. Super strong riding coming into the Bec. Feeling good and confident. Here we see lining up that first air again, a full choke below him, so he's got to stomp these.
Yeah, using the heel side edge to control his speed as he comes on the big side of the closeout. Perfect landing for Holden, but just checking up. He needed to check up there so he didn't accidentally fly off that next cliff below him. Now Holden Samuels getting momentum back as we've got this nugget feature dead center of the Petit Bec and tossing a 360, landing back in control for Holden.
Back in control. There is no room for mistakes on the Bec des Roses. Huge! Huge backflip, but not able to make the full rotation and the landing. But wow, this is a fast run from Holden Samuels.
Yeah, and Holden making a statement that the fear of the Bec is not going to hold him back from doing his absolute best on this mountain. Throwing a backflip on that feature, there is a little bit of a lip on it, but so committing to do it there with all of what's looming. And a front flip into the finish area. Holden Samuels finishing strong.
The YETI cooler providing the last hurrah.
How'd your run go? Mellow. That snow is so out. Hard to shut it down, no? Yeah, definitely.
Now let's take a look back here at this replay. A really strong start for Holden.
The way he moved down this top section, fully in control, perfect landing, and then, yeah, it looks like he just tried to ditch speed a little too early, got too chucked in on that heel side edge.
Yeah, Aaron Style maxed out there on the judges' bars as we saw a really well-executed 360, and then this backflip
with the hair drag.
Yeah, almost a little. Maybe didn't quite get the vertical pop, and just coming up a tiny bit short on the rotation.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Not fully around, but great commitment out of the rider from Montana.
And then the front flip, so that doesn't count for the judges. That one is just for the soul. But Holden Samuels putting the front flip down at the bottom. You can see another super direct fall line approach on our Mammut line tracker. Holden Samuels putting it down. So I don't think that's going to bother Enzo Nilo in the hot seat with that crash, or two crashes, I guess, that Holden had, a 45, 6-7. So he moves into second currently, as we are rolling through Snowboard Men here at the Xtreme Verbier. Enzo Nilo just taking it all in, you know. He became very comfortable in that hot seat in Valtormes earlier in the season. And now we see Enzo sitting on top of the pile with 3 riders down and 4 remaining. The Alps of Chamonix looming in the background behind Verbier as the first of our potential world title contenders coming into the start gate. There's none other than Jonathan Penfield riding out of Squamish, BC. John Pau, 3rd in Spain, 3rd at Kicking Horse. He's got 2 wins on this venue. This is a man you cannot count out in Verbier. The steeper it gets, the more interested John Pau gets in what's going on. And Jonathan Penfield is now dropping out of start 2.
Dropping in. You know, it was interesting listening to John Pau talk. He always wants to find his own line, and with the restrictions of how rocky it is and how low tide, I think we'll see a more traditional run out of John Pau today.
Yeah, he said exactly that. I'm probably just going to go for the classic, but adding this upper feature here, getting the grab, so Aaron Style points already in play for Jonathan Penfield. Now coming down to the lower side here of the Geraldine Fashionat cliff and taking it right off the nose. Oh, and the slough cone there. That landing has many different angled sections. We saw Holden line it up perfectly, and both Michael and Jonathan struggling with that.
Yeah, it's not a simple air whatsoever. Throwing in the 360, riding out. I think John Pau is really more used to having more rocks under his board.
Yeah, exactly. He was so at home. So backside 3 there, front side on the first one. So proving he can spin both ways. Jonathan Penfield now into the lower section of the Petit Bec and finding another hit there as the drone just passes over top of him. You can see here there's a distinct change in the snow as you pass from the shade to the sun. So John just needs to keep it pointed in the fall line. So another strong run, but just slightly derailed by that Geraldine Fashionat closeout. Tricky conditions so far on the Bec.
That one was potentially for you guys at home watching. Jonathan Penfield, 8 years on the tour, multiple wins on the Bec, always a great rider.
Yeah, John sitting in 4th overall currently, and he certainly is capable of delivering. Not going to be his day-to-day as he's just filled every crack and crevice with snow.
Oh, boy. Maybe you're in front of me.
All right, let's take a look back here at the run of Jonathan Penfield.
Here is that top air. No, I believe that was the second air that he hit. But here's the fast not cool air. He took a new entrance, but yeah, looks again a little bit front heavy. One flip over back on his board right away.
Yeah, so not a huge dock in fluidity there for Jonathan Penfield. Front side with the grab, 360. He had to get his board sideways right away to gain control. The snow proving a little bit difficult for the riders to just maintain speed. And then backside also with the grab. So Aaron style, he's doing everything he can. There is a certain amount of recovery that you can gain, you know, with Holden going down, with Michael going down. There's going to be rankings within those crashed runs. And all of that will, this is maybe the best part of the run. Full commitment to the belly flop.
We love it. Look at that Mammoth line tracker weaving its way down the Petit Bec from start to. We are here with the Snowboard Men as we wait for Jonathan's score.
All right, well, the judges are comparing it to all the other runs they've seen so far. So 69.33, so not as big a control dock as we saw in some of the other runs, and that moves Jonathan Penfield into second. So he is now no longer in contention for the world title, but still plenty to play for as he can move up in the rankings depending on what happens with the next three riders. As we are now looking at our first rider to take a bite out of start one. This is Cody Bramwell, and this man is riding a wave of confidence. Winning in Georgia, second in Fieberbrunn. The rest of the runs this year, the rest of his comp runs, we can just forget about because Cody was having a bit of a rough ride, but he's refound whatever it is that Cody needed to do. I feel like this is a guy who really rides on confidence. He rides on the vibes. And now we're seeing Cody at his best, which is an extremely frightening thing for those two riders ahead of him in the rankings. When Cody is firing, look out. So we see him now in the start gate. He's going to be our first rider out of start one, Hadley. We heard from the judges and the commissioners that it's a little bit rocky in this area, and the snow's fluffier, so it's not as condensed on top of the rocks.
This will definitely require a delicate dance as he makes his way out of start gate one again. You can see him making already through a bit of a pepper section, the snow starting to fly, and huge backflip.
Oh, and the landing, perfect. Look at what he did that above. Cody Bramwell with precision technique, getting his way at the slough, pouring off those cliffs above him, backflipping into the exposure. Now we've got this windlet feature, Cody getting the grab, and now coming back out into the central section of the Petit Bec. That was
holy moly,
mind-blowing stuff from Cody Bramwell.
He still has more features below him. My jaw is back up, attached to my mouth. Big 360. Pointing it down, making his way again. This is where the snow is changing, and he has just got to make it to the finish line. Oh my goodness, Derek, that was an insane level of commitment at the top. Derek's mouth is also in his lap.
I have to pick my jaw up off the floor. Cody Bramwell, we said he was riding a wave of confidence. Another backflip into the finish. This man is unstoppable right now. That was absolutely incredible from Cody Bramwell.
I could see a glimmer in his eye as we rode up the jumbo this morning. They were sparkling, those big blue eyes, and I think he knew he had something special with what he was planning. Let's look at this first air right off the top. Holy moly.
Well, this just shows what he was jumping into and what was looming below him. Cody backed himself completely on that. He had to land this one too and get direction change, or he goes off that enormous cliff. Slough cascading everywhere as Cody Bramwell finds himself safely out of the upper section. I mean, this is going to be one of those moments that gets replayed for years. The highlight so far of Snowboard Men. You see how he had to wipe his goggles off just to get vision again.
I don't know if I'm going to cry or stop smiling first. What an impressive level of riding from Cody.
We see the drone shot. Look below him. Look at all of those spikes and points of rocks and cliffs below him. He gets control back perfectly, airs onto this hanging pad, and then has to redirect himself to air off it.
Through the slough line. I mean, if he didn't land that, that's just riding down through a cheese grater.
You could see, oh, we didn't get to see it there. You could see after the 360, Cody aiming to get over to the bottom nugget where Holden backflip, but then making a really smart choice to release his board into the fall line, skip that feature because he just didn't quite have control. And shooting off something like that without control would have just been an absolute waste of the rest of that run. The judges' bars were maxed. We're going to see what the score is. It goes up, way up. No! 92.67. A well-deserved huge score for Cody Bramwell as he has done his part. Well, Cody Bramwell it was like he was in a cocoon for the first half of the season and has emerged from that cocoon to do that. 3 events in a row, we've seen proper Cody Bramwell runs. And as I said, when he was in the start gate, when he is firing, everybody else better look out. Unbelievable performance from Cody.
Ooh, I have chills. That just got me so excited for the rest of today.
Well, as we said, Cody, Liam, and Victor are all in play for the world title. We're looking back here, Liam Rivera in the start gate, and this is a look back at his winning run from the Fieberbrunn Pro just a few short weeks ago, where in very different conditions than what we see here, Liam Rivera took the win. He's another rider like Cody Hadley that is peaking at the right time of the season.
Exactly. There's no better feeling than coming off of a 2nd place and a 1st place as you enter into the Bec.
All right, well, Liam Rivera is competing at home. He slept in his own bed last night. He's got all the comforts, but that comes with an added layer of pressure. Everyone in the streets going, let's go, Liam, do it for the Verbier. So he is dropping out of start 3, a completely different approach. You can see how steep it is, just the very heel side edge of his board getting bite in the snow. And Liam Rivera going directly fall line.
Huge right off the Hollywood cliff to be able to go into that with just 2 turns and then solidly land it like that just shows how good of a rider he is.
Well, and what a way to start a run. You haven't really made a turn yet today, and the first thing you do is fly off one of the biggest cliffs on the entire Bec. Still hauling, absolutely flying down. Liam competing in his own backyard as he pumps a backflip off this lower feature and lands it. Oh, the judges are going to have their work cut out for them today. This is what we wanted from the YETI Xtreme Verbier. You can see his hands. Liam is fired up. He's got this long road. He's still, it feels like a million miles away from the finish, but he is flying. Absolutely pumped, adrenaline maxing. He just took about 14 seconds to get from the fly on the wall position there on the Bec through the finish. And a huge run from the local boys. So these boys are bringing it to Victor. He's going to be up there thinking, all right, well, if I want this title, I'm going to have to beat 2 incredible runs.
You can see the camaraderie. These guys have, you know, the friendships build over the season. They're excited for each other, but they also want to beat each other. This is so hard to comprehend. 2 turns and you're jumping the biggest cliff on the venue. You have to be fully believing in yourself.
Picture perfect landing for Liam as well, lining this one up. All of those features are stacked up above multiple layers of cliffs. And Liam lacing this backflip. Didn't even look like he left the snow there. Every part of that run was picture perfect. Liam, I mean, he's just been building. He had a tough start to the season. He found himself before Georgia below the cut, looking at a difficult situation, and climbed his way back out. Gritty, resilient performance there. And then this one at home, breathtaking riding from Liam Rivera.
Yeah, we really had the French dominating in the beginning, and then Cody and Liam reminding them that, you know, we're still here. And then John Powell just with the consistency, always right off the top of the podium.
Okay, well, the judges have their score in. It's coming up, and it goes to 90 points. So Liam slotting in just behind Cody Bramwell. So the man now in 2nd overall is no longer in play for the world title. Cody still is, but the next man in the gate has... Well, he's got it all in his hand. Victor De La Rue. This would be, if he anywhere on the podium today, he is a 4-time world champion, equaling the feat of Marion Erti, the first person ever on the Freeride World Tour to do that, and beating his brother Xavier in the world title collection. So a lot to play for Victor De La Rue. The score to beat, a mammoth 92.67 from Cody Bramwell.
His son at the bottom watching his father. He's got a lot to look up to.
All right, we have an opportunity to check in on how Victor is feeling before this big occasion.
Key factor is probably to try to feel confident is a key factor, and yeah, to ride hard, strong. Few people won 3 times, so for sure, like I'm a part of those guys, so for sure would be sick to have a 4th one and to become the new Marion Erti from Snowboard Men.
Well, I mean, now he just has to do it.
Yeah.
Victor De La Rue ready to execute. He is also dropping out of start one. We saw Cody Bramwell, so far the only track down there, and looking at his track on this face, it's hard to comprehend what he did. But Victor De La Rue is a man that's impossible to count out on the Freeride World Tour. He has, I mean, every accolade there is to have some of the best film parts, and he is underway now. Victor De La Rue looking to back up his world title.
Starting off right away into the pepper zone with a trick, lining up this massive double. Again, there is so much commitment required, so much below him, into the chute, right into the sun and the shade.
Yeah, Victor dropping switch out of the start gate, so half cab now with a 360. So Victor De La Rue definitely doing his part to back up his world title and to lock things down as he comes in here looking for a front side 3, landing perfectly, holding it in the fall line. He's got another feature still below him, just controlling the speed as he approaches the takeoff.
Straight air for him, going past the bomb holes that the beginning riders took and straight lining so fast right into the sun. You know he can see the start gate from there, the finish gate from there.
Yeah, the finish in sight for Victor De La Rue as we wait for him to safely pass through that finish arch, slowing himself down. Another front flip. Oh, the front flips are so hot right now. The Yeti cooler, big smile on the face of the 3-time world champion.
You're a beast. You're insane. Congrats. Good, you guys put the pressure on, huh?
You can hear him. We look back. So Victor came out of the start gate switch. We're not seeing it in the replay. The replay of this double. So the judges loving his line, technique, air and style, all through the roof here. Backside 3 Hadley off that wind lip above all that exposure. These people are honestly superheroes.
They really are. And you know, I wonder if he was playing that line between a safe run and a pushing run, because again, he just needs to get on the podium. Maybe he didn't need to do anything as wild as we watched Cody do, but if he's on the podium, he wins.
Yeah, so looking at the runs of Cody, of Liam, and of Enzo, those are the 3 runs that he needs to beat. Somewhere in that mix, if he beats those 3 runs, he is world champion for a 4th time. If he is 4th, with Cody in the hot seat, Cody's world champion. So the math is going to be critical behind the scenes, but before that math happens, we need a score from the judges.
A job I would not want today.
Intense pressure. Victor, always one of the happiest guys on the tour. He loves snowboarding, and he certainly is excellent at it, as his multiple wins in the Extreme and in the overall Freeride World Tour.
World champ, though. Oh, for sure.
You world champ.
No, you won't.
That's a Canadian standoff. No, you.
Yeah.
No, you. I love this. The spirit of Freeride alive and well here at the Xtreme Verbier. All right, we have the score coming in at 89. Victor into 3rd, which means that we have a 4-time world champion. Cody Bramwell jumping up, I think, into 2nd. We'll let the math take care of itself behind the scenes. But officially, Cody Bramwell is the winner of the YETI Xtreme Verbier by Honda, and Victor De La Rue is world champion. Unbelievable here in, wow.
Really excited. I mean, Cody, to win the overall, huge. To win the Bec, also huge. There are so few people. So here we go. Results of today. Cody Bramwell with a 92.67. Liam right behind him with a 2nd with a 90. And Victor rounding out that podium with 3rd. But great runs all the way down. Enzo, Jonathan, Holden, and Michael Mon finishing it up.
Incredible action here on the Bec de Rose. As we've come to expect, this mountain just provides the moments in Freeride that we all crave. Every single time we come here, you know, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of nerves, there's a lot of action, busyness behind the scenes. But year after year, well, for 30 years, this place has provided moments like that, drama like that, world champions crown, new winners on this face. Cody Bramwell just in his ascendancy, absolutely rising to the top. That's 2 wins on the tour this year. This guy is on fire. Man, I'm just so excited. The future of freeride snowboarding is bright.
Very bright. Here is our podium. Look at these men. Cody Bramwell, Liam Rivera, and Victor De La Rue.
Yes, wow.
With his son, a future potential champion.
Yeah, runs in the family there, the De La Rues. Now oh wow, I mean, this is just so incredible. So we're gonna take a look at our overall standings here. Your world champion for the 4th time is Victor De La Rue. Cody Bramwell jumping from below the cut 3 events ago to 2nd overall and bringing the heat to Victor. He made him work for that title. And Liam Rivera, 3rd overall, the Verbier local, finishing on the podium at home. I have a feeling, never mind what happens in the other categories, that this town is going to go ballistic tonight in support of Liam Rivera. Enzo Nilo rounding out his season in 4th. John Powell, Holden Samuels, and Michael Mon. Those are going to be the 7 men dropping into next season in the 2026 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance, along with whoever comes in from the challengers. That's all still to come. So plenty of freeride action still to come at you after the Xtreme Verbier. But right now we have a brand new, well, not even new, we have a repeat world champion, a 4-time, now equaling the record of Marion Erty. We have 2 French snowboarders that now have 4 world titles. Unbelievable.
Really incredible. Huge victory.
Ils ont mis la presse, les bâtards. Je vais pas trop engager pour que c'est un peu de sécu, quoi. Victor, faut qu'on envoie player.
All right, well, we have Victor in the finish line, a 4-time world champion. Victor, describe what this means to you right now.
Thank you, Derek. Yeah, those guys put a big pressure. I was on top. I knew that if Cody or Liam would win, I would have to do top 3. And I just saw that just before me, both of those beasts did amazing runs. So I was like, oh boy, I better stomp this one. And then with stomping, I was not even sure I was going to be on the podium, so I'm stoked. And my son just came to watch me, so I'm even more stoked to share the moment.
Do you have the pressure of your son, who will maybe pass you with 5 world titles to come?
Yeah, we'll see. He'll do whatever he wants.
Well, unbelievable performance, Victor. So proud of you, equaling the record of your countrywoman Marion Erty with 4, and now you're sitting ahead in the De La Rue world title race of your brother. So a huge day for Victor, winning here the world title back in Verbier, and the run of Cody Bramwell, absolutely magic. The slough, the precision, the intensity, all of it. That wraps up the Snowboard Men's category here at the YETI Xtreme, and we are going to be coming back with Ski Men. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back to the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda. We are ready to go with Ski Men, the resort of Verbier, providing these riders the canvas to put their best on the line with world titles at stake. My name is Derek Foose. I am joined here by Hadley Hammer. We have seen the Snowboard Men go absolutely ballistic, and we are ready for skiers right now.
What a day, what a start, and we have Ski Men coming up. First, we will look back at Aurélien Ducrot, the record 4 wins on the Bec de Ross. You can see this mountain, holy smokes, so steep, so dark. Let's look back to one of his iconic runs on the Bec. picking his way through all these rocks, committing hop turns. Aurélien Ducrot 4 times wins on the Bec, keeping the record to this day.
Yeah, and you can see why. I mean, back in 09, starting from the top, those upper moves, so committed, so intense. The skiers today just looking to stack up to the legacy that those earlier Freeride World Tour athletes kind of built in the early days on the Bec des Roses. And we have an absolutely stacked lineup for you. As we said, world titles on the line in 3 of the 4 categories. Ski men is no different. Plenty of opportunities to get it done. Plenty of opportunities for things to go haywire. We saw the same in Snowboard Men. As we look now at the overall rankings in the Freeride World Tour ski men's category, Marcus Goguen from Whistler is in the top spot. He's got about a 4,000-point lead over the local boy, Martin Bender. He's going to have the crowd behind him here on the slopes of Verbier. Valley Rayner and Ben Richards also in with an outside chance of the title if everything stacks up for them. We've got Virgil Didier and Toby Rafford back-to-back there, the only 2 rookies to qualify into the finals, and both in contention for Rookie of the Year, going down through to Oscar Mendin and the 2 Swedes, Carl Regner Eriksson and Christopher Turdell. That is going to be the way things go today. All of these riders, they just want to put their stamp on this Bec. A world title is great, but an Xtreme Verbier win is something that you will live with forever.
Exactly. This is the venue of the tour to make your mark. Again, it's a reverse order, so Oscar, who qualified last, will start first. Then we've got the long veterans, Christopher and Carl, right behind him, Wei Ten Ho, Ross Tester in the middle, and then again those 2 rookies, Toby and Virgil, completely different styles, running 8th and 9th. We've got Ben Richards in 10th, and then here comes those podium boys, Valet, Martin, and Marcus Goguen dropping last. The pressure he has to ride above what the men will put below him, and if Cody's run is any indication of what we will see today, hold on to your pants, to your seat, to your coffee, to your beer. It is going to be a great show.
Yeah, buckle up. Marcus is going to have that pressure. His good friend Max Hitzig had it last year. As we see here, 84% of you feel in the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites that Marcus Goguen will land himself on the podium today. 47% voting for Martin Bender, and Ben Richards earning 44% of the vote. Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get involved. It's fantasy freeride. Get a little skin in the game. Make sure you vote. Well, next year now, because it's closed for voting for the Xtreme Verbier today, but there is still plenty of freeride action to come as we look directly vertically down on start 2. The intensity of these start gates, it cannot be overstated. These skiers they have their hearts in their throats. They've got fear, they've got excitement. We've got Oscar Mendin, the Avoriaz rider, got himself a 4th in Val Thorens this year. His reaction in the finish area last year after skiing for the first time from the top was absolutely legendary. And Oscar is opening up ski men here in 2025.
On the slope, like you said, right out of the gate, you are fully committed into the steep, making his way to that first air. Has to stomp it. It is a closeout below him. 1, 2 turns and right away into the Geraldine Fashionat couloir or air.
Getting a perfect landing there. He's fully in control. Oscar Mendin now getting over onto the rider's left side, finding an air into that nice snow. Oscar keeping the intensity up as he is high speed. Backflip, double backflip. Oscar Mendin, he lands it. No!
Oh, no, not able to hold on. So close, but all right, what a way to start.
I mean, Oscar Mendin, if a rider has a trademark, Oscar's is the backflip. He's so good at them. So opting for a double there, looking to open this category with a bang, and he certainly did that. I thought he had it. I think I pre-called it. Hopefully didn't give him the commentator's curse there.
On his way into the finish line. Not the run he probably wanted with that control issue, but what a way to make your mark on the Bec.
Moi, j'ai essayé.
He tried.
Yeah, he's happy to have tried. Well, and that's the thing about the Xtreme Verbier. You've already qualified into next year, so you get to this event. If you're feeling strong, you're feeling good, and Oscar not really in contention for the overall world title. He can just do something awesome, and he certainly went for that. The top of Oscar's run so smooth.
So smooth, so strong, so firm on that downhill ski. And again, the way that he can make just 1 or 2 turns in between these features, it is so steep, and that commitment is so impressive.
Popping through the pepper here, lining up the speed. Tossing the double backflip. It looked like he had it. Oh, it was the bounce out of the landing that got him.
Yeah, again, the forerunner said the landings are a bit stiff.
And Oscar went almost double what any of those other tracks were there from the Snowboard Men. The distance, you see the bomb holes, he just sails past them, still in his second rotation. Reconnecting with the snow, getting a little bounce. Yeah, I can't hold the skis in the fall line there. And once the skis get sideways while you're bouncing, you're kind of done. But Oscar throwing the splaffy there at the bottom, stoked to be safe and sound at the bottom. And as he said, and I think that's a great attitude to take, at least I tried.
At least I tried. And what a venue to try on. The Bec de Ross here in Verbier. Start #1 of the ski men, and we have quite the show to come.
All right, well, score coming in now for Oscar Mandin, 55.67. So a case of what could have been there, a double backflip on the Bec. I mean, things you never thought you'd see.
Or say, Derek.
Yeah, exactly. So Oscar Mandin will take a spot in the Dynastar hot seat. Big hug for his father there. Love to see that as we're back up to the top, and this is one of the most experienced men on the Bec. He's got wins here. He's got multiple world titles under his belt. He is, the steeper it gets, the happier he is. The veteran, the smoothest man on snow coming out of Dundret, Sweden. 10 years on the Freeride World Tour and re-qualifying. He was down below the cut for a little while, but doing what he needed to do. Christopher Turdell, he knows how to get it done on the Freeride World Tour, and he certainly knows how to get it done on the Bec, as Turdell is now underway at a start 2.
Like a rocket out of the start gate, weaving his way through that top pepper. What a strong skier, 10 years, and you can tell why. No issues whatsoever off this first air, lining up with a huge chunk of this.
Upper deck takeoff for Turdell. Gaining control now with that trademark sweeping turn. He's so smooth on his skis. Turdell now coming in, lofting off this one. Whoa, having a little moment as his skis get caught up in the crust, and he's down.
And a ski off for the Swede.
Oh no, heartbreaking moment there for Christopher Turdell as he was on a heater. That upper deck takeoff on the Geraldine Fashionat closeout, so committing. And then it looked like his ski got caught in the crust again. We heard from Maxime Chablot and Sybille Blanchon that different sides of this face have different feelings, and it is a little bit crusty. But heartbreaker there for Turdell as he just walks out of a ski, and just like that, his run is over. That's going to be a no score.
Not how you want to have your day, but wow, I'd love to talk about how he is able to control his speed. I mean, he came off of that top air, took it the biggest, and then within one turn was going the speed that he needed to be going, and that is a skill set that cannot be talked about enough.
Turdell going full freestyle there, 180 into the powder as he is through the finish. So we're going to look back here, Hadley, at this replay.
Again, huge, took the biggest chunk he can out of this closeout air. See him just flying. And normally you would come out with a ton of speed, and he's just able to get on that downhill ski, make some adjustments, and then let's see what happens.
He gets a little bit inside, caught up, but he looks like he's recovered. Oh, he had a bit of rotation in the upper body. Yeah. Unfortunate for Turdell. He just didn't fully have control. And then his ski, I think if his ski stayed on, he probably would have been able to ski out of that one.
Yeah, you can see where the sun hits. It's getting a little bit thicker. And yeah, his upper body just makes that twist, and the ski came right off.
Well, tough break there for the two-time Freeride World Tour champion, but Christopher Turdell will be back in the mix next year. That is a no score. So Oscar Mandin holding on to the hot seat after a big threat from the peak performance rider there, Christopher Turdell.
I don't know if it was a rock or just crust. Might have been a rock.
Oh, yeah, Oscar's got a little bruise on his face. It looks like he maybe hit himself with his pole. All right, well, there's no time for bruises on faces as we are going back up to start number 1, the next man out of the gate. Another huge threat here on the Bec, another peak performance rider, Christopher Trudell's traveling partner, ski buddy. It is Scott athlete Carl Regner Eriksson. The Swedes are so good in the steeps. They're so fast. They're so comfortable. Carl's super smooth. He's kind of the inheritor of Christopher's style. He's added, I'd say, a little bit more freestyle to his game than what we see from Trudell. And Carl, a big threat on this face. He was fired up this morning, ready to get it done. And Carl, out of start 1.
Out of start 1, choosing this line with a little bit more slough, which we know he can manage well. Huge, committing 360.
Whoa, a moment there for Carl as he 360'd above all that exposure, got control back, and then popping back into the main section of the couloir, flying off that wind lip. And now Carl more into the central section here of the Petit Bec.
Let's see what he lines up above him. Massive 360. Oh,
and Carl just going over the front of his skis.
Also losing his ski as well. I think this snow is where it's sunny is quite thick, and it just seems to be eating the rider's gear.
Yeah, you can even see the ski that he still has on is stuck in the snow there. So the density, as the sun gets on that deep snow, the density increases, and that thickness provides a real challenge for the riders, especially in landings. You go in further than you thought, and then it just slows your feet right down. So really unfortunate there for Carl, as the top section of his run was so committed.
Yeah, that 360 where we saw Cody do a huge backflip. I mean, again, you really can't mess that up. Let's watch this first move. Yeah, almost didn't make it all the way around.
Had our hearts in our throats there as he got controlled just before the edge of that cliff.
You know, so hard as the first or second rider to really set that track and have something to pop off of, but great recovery skills for him. Otherwise, that could have been quite the bad day for Carl.
Cat-like reflexes. Carl going left 3 there, punches into the snow, and you can see his feet stopped instantly.
Right around, oh yeah. This sunny side, I think, is a factor that the athletes really have to adjust to. These conditions are not the same where you saw the riders go out of start 3. It is firm and consistent from top to bottom.
Yeah, this dense powder proving a little bit more difficult for the athletes to manage. Carl going tumbling there, but luckily he's tumbling in an area where it's not so rocky below. So as crashes go, that was a relatively safe one. I think Carl's going to be physically all right, mentally, psychologically, maybe feeling a little bit beat up after that. Carl definitely, you know, as all of the riders in the field desperately want an Xtreme Verbier title to put in the trophy cases. We're just waiting for the ski runner to make their way down. Let's give a shout out to the ski runners here that they have to ski the same terrain with, you know, pretty pinpoint precision to get to where some of these athletes are leaving their gear.
You have all the faces to be a ski ninja. This is one that is quite a challenging job. We can see him making their way down the Bec towards Carl's ski, taking conservative turns. If we could almost compare the ski ninja turns compared to these riders, you'd really see how difficult this face is to ride.
Yeah, I think that's a sensible approach too for the ski runner. You don't want a ski runner needing a ski runner.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, Oscar's definitely popped himself in the face there. I think it was his knee or maybe his pole on that double backflip attempt, but he's gonna have a bit of a shiner, a little bit of a war wound that the Bec provides. This is no easy venue for these riders, and let's not sell where we are short. We're not starting from the very top of the Bec de Rose, but the Petit Bec is still one of the biggest venues on the Freeride World Tour and relentlessly steep. It doesn't really start to give until the very bottom of the apron. So here we've got the ski runner reconnecting Carl with his equipment.
You can see how deep and thick that snow is, and even see that there is peppers below it. So these athletes have a lot to manage. You've got rock, you've got snow inconsistent in places, and you have the steepness. We'll have Carl put his ski back on again. This will be another no score, unfortunately, for the Swedish rider, but certainly one to watch in the years to come.
Oh yeah, Carl's always a threat. When he's on his game, you know, I put him in a similar category to Cody Bramwell. When he's riding confidence, his skiing is lightning. And, you know, he is an extremely humble man. Sometimes he can be maybe a little too humble, a little down on himself. But make no mistake, this is one of the best skiers on the Freeride World Tour. And when he has his day, oh, getting a big face shot. That one's for the soul and for the people. All right, well, we are rolling on with Ski Men here at the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda. The Freeride World Tour Grand Finale, world titles at stake. Plenty of action still to come in Ski Men, as we are only 3 riders into this 13-rider field. The next man in the gate, Whistler's own Wei Tian Ho, one of the strongest performers on the Freeride World Tour. He has had 2 runs on the tour that were winning runs that came exploding to a finish, or 2 explosive finishes. But Wei Tian is feeling confident, feeling good, and feeling strong. The pressure of making the cut is off for the Whistler Freeride Club alum, and he is ready to go. This peak performance athlete, when he is on his game, well, I mean, we can apply that to pretty much everyone, but when he is on, he is so on. And this man feeling confident this morning as Wei Tian Ho dropping in to his first trip down the back.
First trip down. If there is a rider that I've been looking forward to watch, it is Wei Tian. Such a smooth, stylish rider. Great technique. As you can see, just popping over rocks mid-turn, right on that downhill ski, heading into the closeout with a different direction. Super smart. Little drop down and lining up this massive
huge backflip for Wei Tian. Yes, he's got it. Wei Tian Ho with one of the biggest features on the venue and a massive 360 over all the rocks. Yes!
He is not done at all. Right onto the downhill ski. You can hear the crowd is electric for the Canadian rider.
And Wei Tian adding a bonus feature at the bottom, popping a double through the ice fall. So a little extra credit there. It wasn't enough to do the huge backflip and the massive 360. Wei Tian Ho, first time down the back, and an absolute stamp of authority. That was mind-bending stuff for the young Whistler rider.
So smooth, so confident, so creative. The way that he picked every direction off that cliff was intentional and really well thought out.
Well, going through some line options with Wei Tian, you know, he was unsure if the closeout to the next huge one was going to work. If you watched him ski into this, you're like, oh, you know, he's going kind of small. He's going off the side. Well, guess what? There was a reason for that. He had to hold on to that one a little bit, but then coming into this Hadley, lining it up,
just massive and full commitment to that speed. I love how quick he gets onto the downhill ski and right into that 360. Just perfect sniped that bottom landing. So proud, so happy. Wow.
Yeah, a little maybe bit of a butt touch there. And then, as you said, Hadley, getting onto that ski, you watch his skis just rippling over that chop, and then lining this up, the classic trademark Wei Tian 360 takeoff. He and Ben Richards, there's no pop, they just float into it. So Oscar Mandin, he's packing up his gear. I think he knows what's coming there. As we look at the line tracker, he had that little zigzag, but I'd say well worth it to get over there and lob that enormous 360 for Wei Tian Ho, skiing to his potential. Now we're waiting for the judges. I guess he doesn't have anyone to chat to there. He's just looking at the screen. You can wave to your mom at home, Wei Tian. I'm sure Chi-Ying and Tom are extremely proud, as are we all. Doing it for the Canadian team there. Here we go. We got the score coming in, passing that of Oscar Mandin, 84-3-3 for Wei Tian Ho. So the judges, they're setting a bit of a benchmark there. We are very early in this category, and they don't want to paint themselves into a corner with their dropping too high of scores too early. And if I have to comment maybe on that score, a bit of a control issue on the landing of the backflip, but Wei Tian Ho just blowing our minds out there.
Exactly. As you said, the judges have to give themselves room, and don't forget they have 3 start gates, 3 different ways down this mountain, so they need room to play and evaluate how big everything is, how exposed everything is, and how the riders move down the mountain with their speed and now Aaron's style. So they've got to give themselves room, but really solid score for YETI. Love to see it. Excited.
All right, well, as YETI makes himself comfortable in the hot seat, I'm sure he's hoping for a long time, but I'm sure all the riders still stacked up hope that they can take over that seat, as it means everything to these athletes. Here we have Timo Rollshoven, the German rider riding out of St. Anton. He's been going to school in Lausanne, riding for Peak Performance and Scott. He is so solid on his skis. This guy, you know, he's got the deep, deep bag of freestyle tricks, but let's not forget about his actual ski technique. It is on point and making very short work of the upper section.
Blink and you'll miss it. Huge committing right, essentially making this into a double with how few turns he was taking. We've got 1 and lining up the same air that YETI. What will the cliff jumper do?
Getting over the rocks, bouncing out of that landing. Timo, it looks like he's aiming, no, a little bit of a lower takeoff there, using that section of the face to regain control. And Timo going for double, laying it out. Oh, huge impact for Timo Rollshoven. That landing, I think, has a limit on the distance that you can take it, and Timo getting absolutely decked on that landing. His airbag deploying. Hopefully he's okay. That was a big, big hit for Timo Rollshoven.
Look at the depth of the bomb holes for that tomahawk. I think it looks like he lost his pole, which he's making his way up the venue, just above him.
The drone's got eyes on it there. Timo Rollshoven, I think, just going through a bit of a systems check. We've got a thumbs up and the pole just above him, but look how deep the snow is. It actually looks like it's really hard to sidestep uphill. I'm sure the ski runners are like, really, we got to go down there for something that's a meter above you. But looking at just the depth of the trench that he's standing in, and consider also the riders after. If Timo hikes up there, that hole is going to get even bigger, and other riders are going to want to use that area. So he went off the highest point above the Fashionat double, really had to check up to get control before the second takeoff.
Yeah, it's so steep in between these features that the riders have to get directly on that downhill ski. Pretty smart with the way that he found that landing, but a little bit back seat, which put him on quite the ride. And he recovered enough to set up this enormous backflip way past any bomb hole.
All the way down there. And let's just look at the impact. When Timo comes back to the ground, boom, he just gets compressed completely into a ball and then sent tumbling. Airbag out immediately. It's not deployed because he pulled the thing. It's only held in with a small strip of Velcro. It's meant to be easy to deploy, and an impact like that is going to pop it out for sure. Yeah, landing right next to Oscar's bomb hole. So finding both of those riders, finding the limit. I'm absolutely baffled that we've seen 2 double backflips now at the Xtreme Verbier, something that has never been even attempted. Actually, that's not true. Manon Lowski did it last year on the windlet down below. But 2 guys going for it on the same feature with similar results. The impact is too much for them to handle.
Exactly, but what a way to make your mark. Looks like he will reach his pole and make his way down off the venue. For a rookie to be in the top 10, what a start of the season, and then to throw such a double backflip. He's saying, I deserve to be here, and this is what I can do.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. And the intensity of the top of Timo's run, I think it gives us a good look at what the future for this guy is going to be on the Freeride World Tour. Again, he is requalified for next season, so this day for riders who are out of contention for the world title is about going for the glory of a win on the Bec. And Timo certainly went for it there.
You know, and we can't stress enough also these riders, due to the conditions, weren't able to ride in Fieberbrunn. So it's actually been a few weeks since they've competed, and getting back into that mental game is a huge skill set. They've got to get focused. They've got to be in the space where, you know, Fieberbrunn, they were just having a spring break beach vacation.
Yeah, watching the snowboarders and the ski women do their thing. We haven't seen them ride since Georgia, so we are now getting to see the best of the best. Ski men, Wei Tian Ho, Oscar Mandin, Timo Rochhoven sliding himself into third just by keeping his skis on that run. But we are, well, we're 5 of 13 done so far, and this next man is one to watch. Buckle up. Ross Tester took a win in the first event in Bakira, and this is probably the most similar snow we've had since then. He's riding his stiff skis today. He said he feels like he needs some support. Ross Tester riding out of Snowbird Alta, and so fast out of the start. This guy is just built for freeride.
He really is such a talented rider, can do it all. A lot of people have signature tricks. Ross has an entire sack full of them as he makes his way down. Full commitment, great speed control into this closeout.
Yeah, controlling his speed, so looking like he's going over in the same neighborhood as Timo and Wei Tian did, lining up. 360, getting over the rocks, landing, bouncing out of the bomb hole, and cooking. Ross Tester absolutely flying out of that landing. I don't know if he had more planned, but he had to keep his skis in the fall line there just to keep it together.
It is so steep at the bottom of this venue. There's no option for turning, and Ross Tester having that great instinct, let the skis ride. Hard pass on the Yeti cooler, but making his way down to the venue. Really smart riding by Ross.
And a huge hug there for these two co-competitors. We go back up to the top of Ross's run. I love the way he skied this top section.
Yeah, again, just knowing exactly how to have the perfect speed, finding that steepest part of that landing so he didn't get as sat down as we saw Wei Tian, and then lining himself up. What?
Getting the grab there on the 360. Ross landing in the fall line and full acceleration. So where we saw other riders like Wei Tian get 2 more features below that, Ross Tester just had to get on the full throttle and light it up all the way to the bottom. There was no slowing that down.
Pretty direct line tracker by Mammoet, straight line down the bottom here at the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance.
Thanks to the sponsors, of course, as well. Hell yeah, you're pretty good. I
Ross,
crossed my tips like right before I went off the close out. Yeah, but you rode it way through.
A man of few words there. Ross Tester anxiously waiting for the score to come in, as is Wei Tian Ho. The score to beat an 84.33, coming in at a 76.67. So Ross Tester moving into second, just behind Wei Tian Ho. The judges being a little stingy with their numbers, knowing that we are moving in reverse order to the standings. So potentially they got some big scores that they may be throwing out, depending on what happens as we make our way through this start list. So Ross Tester moving into second, behind Wei Tian Ho, and we are back up to the top of the Alps. Absolutely spectacular backdrop here for the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda. The next man out of the gate is going to be the Spanish superstar, Abel Moga. Got himself onto the World Tour with a wild card this year after his performance in Spain, and then put up a second place at Kicking Horse with an extremely memorable run. Abel Moga, one of the great spirits on the Freeride World Tour, doing it for the country of Spain and the legacy of Aymar Navarro. Love to watch him ski, and Abel is now on the back out of start 1.
Out of start 1, and my only question is, when are we going to see a front or back flip? How soon? As he...
Oh, Abel getting caught up by a rock right at the top. We mentioned earlier that the commissioners and judges said this side of the face, that start 1, is extremely sharky. Sharky means there's rocks lurking just under the surface, and that one just took Abel's ski from him immediately. Hopefully he's okay. That looked quite violent as it just stopped his ski dead, and I'm really grateful that Abel was able to stop himself immediately, as that drone shot shows exactly what he is above.
Yeah, we are glad he's able to make his way up to his ski, and like Derek said, just look at the cheese grater below him. Full commitment where he was going. Tons of rock, tons of exposure. but a heartbreaking way to start his run on the Bec de Ross.
Oh, that's just so sad for Abel. Hopefully he's all right. I think he's trying to mountaineer his way up, and you can see, you know, his feet are going way in the snow on this side, the sugariest section, which is why the commissioner said it would be more rocky, because the snow is less consolidated. So it's hiding the rocks instead of covering the rocks, which is, it sounds the same, but it's a very different. And unfortunately, Abel uncovering one of those with his ski and coming to an abrupt halt there. So his campaign for glory on the Bec is come to a screeching halt there, but I'm very happy to report, at least from our seat, that he looks like he's okay.
He is okay. Yeah, you can see how deep it is and how unsupported the snow below him on the south sunny side of the venue.
Well, Abel Moga. So we see here he's entering Hadley. He makes one turn and then redirecting this way.
And it looks like,
oh
yeah.
That was multiple rocks that he hit and potentially ended up on a rock as well, as right where he's sitting, it's not that deep. So there, the sharks are lurking just under the surface there, and unfortunately, Abel feeding them right at the beginning of his run here on the Bec. So he's got to get his equipment back together, and now with a no score, he's just got to find his way safely down this section, which, I mean...
There's not necessarily a safe way down the Bec, but he does have kind of this wide open panel that he can make his way down just to the skiers left of where we saw Cody do his huge backflip. All right, well, Abel Moga, our Spanish superhero, is just going to make his way down safely. So once riders get a no score, they are instructed not to hit any more features. You don't want to leave extra bomb holes for those athletes that are behind you. You're not going to get a score anyway. So kind of do your part for the rest of the community and just keep it smooth. And keep it safe, and because nobody wants to see a second crash once you get your skis back on. So Abel Moga is now just going to find his way down, and he is going to put his 2025 season to a rest, but again, safely requalified for the 2026 Freeride World Tour. So we are going to get the pleasure of seeing Abel competing again next season. Pretty interesting. 3 skis today eaten by the Bec de Ross. Tighten those dins up.
Well, I don't know with that one if a tighter din would have helped. I mean, Abel, just his ski got gobbled up by a couple, like a section of rocks.
The danger of that line, so.
As he said it, the danger, that was the risk of taking any line out of start 1 was the rocks.
Not too much. Thank you.
All right, well, a little catch-up there between co-competitors Wei Tian Ho and Abel Moga. So right now, Wei Tian, Ross Tester, and Oscar Mandin, that is your top 3 as we are just past the halfway point in the ski men's category. It's been a bit of a tale of contrast here in ski men. We've seen some spectacular and we've seen some devastating as we are heading, and that's kind of the nature of the Bec. We are heading back up to the first member of the potential Rookie of the Year club on the men's side. Toby Rafford came onto the scene with a huge splash in Spain. His sister Addie, former Freeride World Tour competitor, just arriving in Verbier today to cheer on little brother Toby, and Toby getting things started aggressively here up at the top of the Petit Bec.
This is a fascinating venue for Toby. He's known for his smooth, dripping-like style, but you can see that he still has just as good of technique as everyone else as he just laced through the closeout. Huge 360.
And bouncing out of that landing, he's trying to get his poles back into his hand. Toby Rafford, no, he doesn't quite make it up onto that feature. It looked like he was just trying to get his pole back into his hand. That's so distracting for a skier. He got up onto the feature, but wasn't quite able to get off of it the way he wanted. You can see the emotion there. As I mean, the riders, they put everything into this. You know, they really tie themselves up into their performance in these moments.
What happened, bro? Your gigs in that 3 was insane. What happened? You just got caught up?
Well, the emotion just pouring off of Toby Rafford. This hand drag 360, the best landing. Well, oh no, you can see the poles getting bounced out of his hands when your arms get flapped out like that.
Yeah, and we could tell this is where Ross just had to put his skis in the fall line, and Toby really tried to get up, but I think it's pretty thick snow in there, the same kind of snow that ate Turdel's his ski. But yeah, this landing is really bouncing all of the men right out of it.
Yeah, and as you said, there's two contrasts we can make here. One to the decision that Ross made to just pump right down the fall line, and another to the precision that YETI had to land a backflip off of that and still be able to cut across to the next feature. You know, these riders, they're so good at this, but the precision required when they are pushing at the top of their own envelope is insane. The intensity of what they're trying to do. Toby wanted that turn so bad, but even a man as smooth as that, not quite able to get that, and he had to give it up, which is probably wise, because if he had kept going that way, he probably would have just fallen off of that cliff. So Toby Rafford, not quite the full execution, but one of the moves of the day with that just perfect, stylish 360. And that landing, it's getting firmer. We've seen YETI, Timo, Ross, and Toby all taking on that air. So it's definitely starting to set up a bit in the landing, I think.
Exactly. Strong riding from the Rookie of the Year. Let's see as we await for the score from the judges coming in.
Yeah, we'll see how they compare that to Ross's. So 72.67. So Toby moving into third, waving to his good friend YETI, who's holding off some serious challengers in the hot seat there. As we look now, as Toby Rafford takes over third from Oscar Mandin. So Oscar had obviously a huge issue with the double backflip attempt. Toby Rafford relatively clean, just not quite able to put together the entire line that he wanted. So we're back up to the top, and we're seeing our first of the ski men going out of start 3, way over in the center of the Bec. And I gotta say, I'm not surprised to see Virgile Didier over here. This is mountain goat territory, and I feel like it's right up Virgile's alley. He's the other guy in contention for Rookie of the Year on the men's side. The women's one is wrapped up with Noémi Equy winning the world title. For sure, she is going to be Rookie of the Year for the women. But Virgile and Toby are still in play for the men's side, and we are now seeing the Chamonix rookie pushing out of the start gate from start 3.
I'm guessing this is going to be fast and fluid. This guy likes it steep. He has great ski racing technique, but can do some huge airs, big tricks. As you see, he's making his way down this venue, cross-cording around, where essentially the intersection of start 3 and start 2 start to meet. And what he has below him is massive.
Yeah, serious terrain beneath Virgile Didier. He's got one feature under his belt. This one is so committed. He needs to land this. Virgile Didier, he's falling. Oh, he's back up. As you see at the bottom of your screen, what he did that above, you'll understand why we just had that moment. And I think Virgile is just going to call it.
I think
yeah, that's wise. When you have a crash like that coming down to, you can see at the top right of your screen, that's what he was aiming at. That's what he was falling towards. So Virgile Didier is missing a pole in his left hand, so making the safe choice. Relief, I think, Hadley, is what we're feeling right now.
I think I just grabbed Derek's arm with a surgeon-like precision. That was very scary to watch. Glad he has made his way down to the bottom. And yeah, very smart decision to just
whoa
get in, but show us that he can do it all as well.
Virgile, Rodeo 5. So this, the YETI finish line cooler jump. He's all smiles. He says, I'm happy.
You all good? You recovered so nicely, though.
So let's just keep in mind, these two riders talking right now, both first time on the Bec de Rust. One sitting in the hot seat, one just gave us a serious moment. I love this. Look how far he flies past the bottom of that cliff. It's so steep, Hadley.
So steep, right back onto his skis, and this is the quite scary, massive backflip. You can see he's just right on the tails of his ski and he knows he had to get himself arrested and stopped as soon as possible.
Yeah, slight over rotation. Again, you fly further than you think you're going to because of the steepness of the landing. Virgile got that under control so well. You got to give him credit. And then, yeah, quick Rodeo 5 into the finish, popping around switch. So Virgile showing that he's not just a big mountain goat. He also has the freestyle That backflip was so committed, and I'm really grateful for Virgile for getting that back under control. Score coming in at 49 for Virgile Didier, so into 5th. So unofficially, Toby Rafford, this is super unofficial, as is everything you hear from Hadley and I, will be the men's rookie of the year, as Toby Rafford and Virgile Didier were battling it out. I guess we've got Enzo Nilo in the mix as well on the snowboard side. I'd never think of him as a rookie because he's been on the tour before. We'll see how that plays out on the back end. That's not our decision to make. So, Wei Chen Ho, Ross Tester, Toby Rafford, that is your top 3 so far. Everything below that has had serious control issues. So really only 3 clean-ish runs so far, but we're getting down to the nitty of the gritty here in the ski men's category. The pride of Treble Cone, New Zealand, Ben Richards, the smoothest man on skis. He has had quite a season on the tour. 3rd in Kicking Horse, 3rd in Spain, with some of the most iconic moments of 2025. Maybe we can push that back into the more ever category. Yeah. Every time Ben drops out of the start gate, I just grab onto something because it's going to be fast, it's going to be smooth, and it's going to be exciting. He's such a strong skier. His ability to make the ridiculous look easy is, I mean, he's probably the best guy in the world at that, taking on the mantle from Paul and from Drew Tabke before him of just pure smoothness, never lands out of sorts, always finds transition. I love watching Ben ski.
Yeah, if anyone can make a clean run down the back, it is Ben Richards. So smooth, so excited to ski every single day. You can see the excitement, and he just wants to have fun. The man lives and breathes skiing as we see him enter in.
Even that, just airing into that closeout couloir and Ben making very short work. You can see he just never gets pushed around by the snow, taking the absolute upper deck takeoff and into a perfect somersault. Ben Richards does like front flips. Didn't even slow him down, and he's not going to let that break his flow. 360, and Ben Richards now cooking. Double backflip, a 3rd one, going even further. Oh, my God.
I mean, he's out of the powder cloud. Certainly will have some control, Doc, but the way that even he recovers from control issues is still smooth and buttery and soft, and I think he maybe got 3 other turns into that whole run.
No break in fluidity for Ben Richards as he gets a...
I thought you were going for trip. Dude, you went absolutely massive, bro.
I was like, I already blew it.
I don't know how you recovered so quickly on both.
Dude, sick riding.
Well, I mean,
don't think you're allowed to single that down.
Listening to these riders catch up, Hadley, let's take a look at Ben's run from the top.
Again, just that smoothness right out of the top into the closeout. You can see how well he's on his skis. Just goes massive, but little front flip. I'm back up, and I'm ready to do yet another feature. Ben Richards.
That angle some years works well. It's not really playing today. I think the way the slough cone has developed is different than in other years. And then not a single speed check into this double backflip. You heard Wei Tian say, I thought you were going for a triple.
I think the photographer down there was worried that he was going to land on him. Just so massive. Ben said, you know, I already had the control issue, so I figured I might as well go big. And big is an understatement.
Yeah, 2 backflips done, and he was still multiple meters off the ground, plummeting out of the sky. Really no break in fluidity at all. We saw in the judges' bars there, they barely docked him for fluidity, but definitely a heavy hand on the control scores there with 2 crashes. Both skis stayed on, so Ben Richards will take a score for that.
Oh, well.
All right, score coming up a 68. Oh, the judges had an opportunity there, but chose not to take it. So moving into 4th. So a 4th place run with 2 crashes is telling you kind of the nature of the ski men's category today. Nobody is holding back a thing. It's win or do that for all of the ski men, as we see the crowds just lining the ridges, the Verbier locals and destination crowds coming out in droves to see some of the finest riders in the world taking on one of the most difficult venues in the world. And the Bec has teeth today. Back up we go to the top. We have 3 men who are seriously in contention for the world title. This is the first one. If Vali Rayner wins and a bunch of other stuff happens with the 2 guys below him, there is what we're calling the golden triangle. Marcus Goguen, Martin Bender, and Vali Rayner. Each of these 3 guys can win the Freeride World Tour overall title today. Vali, Peak Performance, and Scott Ryder. He likes to get rowdy. He's kind of a soft-spoken guy, but as soon as he pushes out of the start gate, that goes away. He's almost a Jekyll and Hyde there. The monster comes out, and Vali Rayner, he is the man with some of the most iconic moments we've seen. Peak Performance athlete Vali Rayner out of Austria on the back.
He knows what it's like to be world champ, and he wants to be world champ again. Moving straight onto the venue with heat, with style, taking it so direct.
Back in control, going the other direction, which has proved to be a much nicer landing. Now Vali lining this one up, a lofty 360 landing, bouncing out of the bum hole. He is clean. Can he get all the way over? Not quite able to get to where Wei Qian did, but still back in control, which is a feat in and of itself today. Going cork 7, Vali, no, short on the rotation.
Oh, and the ski coming off. That snow right on the sun line is vicious.
Is the Bec de Ross a slopestyle course now? I mean, we've seen 3 double backflips, a cork 7, flips and spins off everything. What the evolution of this sport is absolutely unbelievable. Vali, given the arm wave, he's okay. Again, shooting for the moon there with that run.
For the moon, he wanted to win. He wanted that title, Derek, and it was his for the taking, but not today.
Well, and I think something that's been playing in Vali's mind, when he won his Freeride World Tour title, it was the year that the entire Bec de Ross avalanched, and so he didn't get to win with a run on the Bec that title. So that's always looming, you know. He wants a second title for sure, and he wants to do it by winning here. This was so strong the way he started this run, Hadley.
So strong, full speed, but he was able to control where a lot of the riders we saw couldn't control, taking that side landing much smoother. And we'll see this enormous 360. I wonder if he knew how firm the landing was from the back guys. Everyone's gotten a little bit backseat, back slap. It's just so steep. And then this is
just laying it out, the cork 7, a tiny bit short on the rotation. He needed to get his body back up to vertical. He didn't quite have, it looks like it's actually tricky to set when you could see the way Vali's skis got separated on the takeoff. Setting a rotation like that is really precise, and you want your skis where you want them. So that could have been what caused him to slightly under-rotate on that cork 720.
You can see the crowds of Verbier. We can hear them safely in to the finish line. Not the run he wanted today, but
he's still all smiles down there in the finish. One of the most positive guys on the Freeride World Tour. Big hug for his Peak Performance teammate there. So with only 2 guys left, one thing that's guaranteed is Wei Tian Ho is going to stand on the first of his Freeride World Tour podiums. That is a given. What step will it be? Well, Martin Bender and Marcus Goguen are going to have all the say in that, as now it is getting heavy here in ski men. Marcus Goguen, he needs to finish in the top 4 if he wants to be world champion. Martin Bender needs to win this comp if he wants to be world champion. Wei Tian Ho would very much like to be champion of the Xtreme Verbier. All of those things still in play in ski men. As we go back up the local, the crowds are going to keep going ballistic for this man. Martin Bender, he's got a win in Val Thorens, he's got a 2nd in Georgia. His freestyle game is impeccable. He grew up on this mountain from junior freeride, from even smaller, from watching the Freeride World Tour as a little kid. These are the moments that he's been dreaming of, and now he has an opportunity. Doing it for the friends. He's only 20 years old. Bender has already made a name for himself on the Freeride World Tour, and now looking to cement himself in the Hall of Fame with a big run on the Bec.
Right out of start 1 with heat. This is where we saw Cody do this impressive run, and Martin is following suit, dancing his way through the rocks, through the exposure as he lines up this huge potential double.
Yeah, popping and playing down there. Bender with an enormous 360. He is clean. on the landing. Now he's got to get control back. The crowd is going bonkers here below as Martin Bender moving across. There's still plenty of feature options below him as Bender makes his way now into the more traveled section of the Bec. And we're coming into this feature that has just been gobbling people up. Cork 7. No, Bender.
And the ski also is off. What a heartbreaking way to end such an impressive top section.
Has anyone landed that feature yet?
I don't believe so, Derek, no.
That feature has taken down snowboarders and skiers. And in the ski men, at least, nobody has even done a single rotation off it. It's only double backflips and cork 7s. The Bec is a slopestyle course now, I guess. And Martin Bender falling victim, another victim to that just heartbreaker feature. I think in the restage last year of the Bakira comp when we were on the Petit Bec in January, we called that Heartbreak Hotel because it took down so many riders. In other years, it's been very much in play. I think Bender had a little issue up top on the air that Carl did a 360 off. It looked like he got, a little bit tangled up. I wonder if he had more in the tank on that one and then just wasn't quite able to put it together.
Yeah, if he wanted to take that line more direct, but he certainly reverted with this huge 360, and he had to pull this one straight into control. Again, the feature is below him. There's no room for making mistakes.
Well, Martin may not have made the podium, but he's making the highlight reel with that move. For sure, the biggest single air we've seen to date so far from this ski men's category. And then Martin Bender coming in, he's lining up. He went a little smaller than we saw Ben and Oscar and Timo go with the cork 7 landing, and no, the ski gone.
Instant.
The snow is so dense there. I don't know if anybody else should even hit that.
No, I think if I was watching this comp as one of the riders at the top, that is something I would certainly take into consideration.
All smiles though, Martin Bender.
Coming in with, again, the no score. It is a no score heavy day here on the Bec, just gobbling up gear.
All right, well, we've been through ski men, and only one man remains. He is at the top of the Bec. This is Whistler's Marcus Goguen. He has won 2 events already this year, and we got a chance to look into the mindset of Marcus coming into this comp.
Yeah, winning the world title this year would be that next step that I didn't get last year. So that's something I'm trying to achieve, and hopefully I can make it happen.
Well, I mean, there you go. He was in the position that Bender was in last year, where he got to go before Max Hitzig. Max as the man in the golden bib. You see the Canadian flags out there for the Whistler Freeride Club alum. Anything in the top 4, and Marcus Goguen is world champ. The man in the hot seat is his childhood best friend, Marcus Goguen, now getting ready to drop in his attempt for a Freeride World Tour title. Marcus Goguen on the Bec.
On the Bec with a smile there, starting off straight into the chute with speed, with style. This is a man that can do it all. Such a strong rider.
Yeah, strong skiing, Marcus Goguen with the pressure of the golden bib on his shoulders. He's moving down to this Fashionat closeout, taking it, and now picking up speed. He's looking to get high on this feature, getting into an untapped zone. There's no tracks over here as Marcus Goguen now eyeing up something different that we haven't seen anyone do. Picking up speed, a huge backflip for Marcus Goguen over the bars.
With the front punch, holy moly. This feature, I don't think very many people were looking at it at all. Marcus with the commitment to go someplace where no one else went.
Yeah, I mean, he proved last year on the Bec that he has an eye for original lines. He's always looking out for different stuff. Getting Rodeo 5, all right, well, Marcus Goguen with a huge run.
Ah, damn, bro. You're the champ, bro. Yeah, brother. Yeah, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, boy.
All right, well, we don't have a score yet, but I have a feeling that with that control issue, Marcus Goguen is not going to overtake Wei Tian. We'll see. I don't even want to make any speculations as these two childhood best friends. So you see Marcus up at the top here, Hadley. Setup moves for him.
Yeah, I mean, just knowing what was below him, it's so impressive the way he rode this top section and how you can ride the top section with control, with amplitude, with speed. All the while, this was your full intention, is so big.
Yeah, he just punched into the snow. That skier's left side definitely proving difficult. Marcus laying it out, the rotation, perfect. He came around right where he needed to be, but the snow just not playing ball with Marcus Goguen. That another rider like Martin Bender will certainly be making the highlight reel. Like Ben Richards, no break in fluidity at all as his best friend there watching.
You know, I think Marcus, as we said, he only needed to make the top 4. And he was doing a run that wanted to win. This guy is full gas. It's not safety, it's I want to win, I am the best.
Yeah, no chill there. So for Marcus not to be world champion, Vale or Martin or even Ben needed to win this event. All 3 of those guys crashed. So whatever this score is, let's see what it is. 69.17. So he is 4th. So Marcus Goguen is the world champion, and Wei Tian Ho is the extreme champion. Well,
I told Wei Tian that I would like him on the podium today, and I think he delivered quite well on that request.
Absolutely. Wei Tian Ho is the new Extreme Verbier champion, and Marcus Goguen is the Freeride World Tour champion. What a day for the Whistler Freeride Club as these two childhood best friends putting it down on the back.
I can see some tears coming out of Derek's eyes. So happy for these gentlemen today, and what incredible riding here on the Bec de Ross in Verbier. Whew.
Well, a challenging day for ski men there as we saw the entire field really struggling with both the snow conditions and the level they were trying to ride at. You know, as a free ride coach, I always say ride to the conditions. These guys do not do that. Here we go. This is our daily scoreboard for the Extreme Verbier.
Wei Tian Ho, first podium win on the Bec. What a way to make a statement. Right behind him, the American Ross Tester and Toby Radford, the rookie, with 3rd. Marcus rounding out in 4th place, securing that title. Ben with crashes, the smoothest crashes we've ever seen in 5th, and then you'll see as the skis started coming off, Christopher Turdell, Carl Regner, and Abel not able to make it all the way down in one piece, and this is your men's podium here in Verbier. Wei Tian Ho, Ross Tester, Toby Radford. The future is bright, Derek.
Oh yeah, these boys. You know, I'll put Wei Tian in the same category as we had Cody Bramwell. A slow burn and peaking at the right time. Good friends, Toby Radford and Ross Tester. Your podium here in Verbier. All 3 of those guys going absolutely ballistic as we are now going to get a look at our overall Freeride World Tour scoreboard. This is it. Marcus Goguen, the brand new Freeride World Champion, Martin Bender, and Toby Radford jumping up onto the overall podium with his performance today. So cementing Rookie of the Year as he finishes 3rd overall. Valley Rayner in 4th, Ben Richards, then Ross Tester, and Wei Tian Ho with his win here, jumping up to 7th overall. Incredible moments Verbier provides once again.
Such a great venue to have such incredible mix-up. It's all about the Bec de Ross. And you can see here's the rest of our rankings from the entire season. The men that were not able to make it, the North Americans.
All right, well, Marky Poo, you are the Freeride World Tour champion with that run. Tell us how it feels, how this journey has gone for you.
Yeah, I mean, after last year with Max bumping me out at the end there and taking the overall, this was definitely the goal for this season, and I'm super happy to make it happen wasn't necessarily the way I wanted to make it happen. I got a little bit lucky with all the crashes today, but yeah, I mean, pretty surreal feeling and so stoked for my buddy Way. It's time he took a W, and to take it on the Bec, Big W deserves it. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time tonight, and yeah, it's awesome.
All right, well, huge congratulations to you, the new Freeride World Tour champion, and sharing the spotlight with childhood best friend, ski buddy Wei Tian Ho. The boys deserve it today. Ski men bringing the thunder today. A tricky day on the Bec de Grasse for the skiers. We saw a lot of big attempts come a little bit unstuck, but we are going to be coming back to you right after this with Ski Women. Don't go away. Welcome back to the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda. What drama, heartbreak, glory, all the factors of Freeride in play today. We are 2 categories down with 2 to go. Ski Women is up next. Allez, Jenna, the home crowd is behind their favorite. Jenna Keller, of course, representing the town of Verbier and ready to go up at the top. Ski Women, no different than any of the other categories. We have so many things in play, at stake, and this place just delivers time and again with iconic moments, and 2024 was no exception. Hadley, Hedvig Vessel last year with the pressure on her shoulders.
She had the pressure. This is her winning run on the Bec in 2024. She needed to win to take her long sought after title that she was chasing her entire career. And like we said, the Bec is the place where you can secure glory, championships, and this is where she did it.
Yeah, reliving that moment of it hitting Hedvig, of her really fully coming to terms with the fact that she had executed 3 times runner-up in the overall, coming back only to accomplish that one thing and then doing it. The emotions just completely overwhelming her. Hedvig Vessel, another member of the iconic moments on the Bec Club, and that was incredible. And we have the stage set for the same thing again today. We've got a very tight battle up at the top of the rankings in Ski Women. As we look here at our overall standings, Justine Dufour-Lapointe on 24,400, Astrid Chelus on 23,120. That is effectively a tie. If either of those women win, they are world champion. Jenna Keller and Molly Armanino are in there with an outside chance. If either of them win and Justine and Astrid are off the podium, they can be world champions today as well. So all to play for on the Bec. It's going to be very interesting to see if the snow conditions have as much an effect on the Ski Women as they did on the Ski Men today, Hadley.
Yeah, I think if the Ski Women are smart, they've taken in what's happened earlier today and making adjustments. You don't always want to have a lot of noise, take in a lot of noise, but you want to hear the right information and make changes to your runs. Know that one air that's eating people, maybe skip it for today. But yeah, we're excited to see what the ski women have been dreaming up. Again, reverse start order. So Lily Bradley out of the gate, #1. Lena right behind her again. Zuza was injured, so not here in Verbier. We have Molly third, and then again that tight race. Jenna and Astrid and Justine, you do not want to miss the end of this competition. They both are hungry for that title.
Yeah, Justine, another one like we had with Valley Rayner, where the world title that she won, we didn't get to compete on the Bec. So she, I think, would very much like to win a world title here in the ancestral home of Freeride. This place 30 years deep on the Xtreme Verbier, and this year providing once again dramatic moments, heartbreaking moments, glorious moments, all of them just stacking up here. The crowd at the Alpina viewing area, thick. These, we can see there, the fans of Noémi Equy. You can get those bibs on the Freeride World Tour website. They are here to cheer on their hero, the only athlete coming into the day already world champion. So we will see the snowboard women dropping after ski women. The Alps of Chamonix looming in the background. Justine Dufour-Lapointe earning 92% of your vote on the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. 85% feel that Astrid Chelus will be on the podium. And then Jenna Keller, she's become a bit of a dark horse on the tour this year with 36%. Jenna came on to the Challengers last year as a bit of a retirement tour around the Freeride competitive community, earned her way onto the tour after a rough start. She's got a couple podiums, and she is actually in contention for the overall title. As we see the setup here at the top of Verbier, the jumbo tram in the background, the Freeride World Tour judges, they have been working hard today, Hadley.
They've been working hard, and their day is only really in the middle with these women proving that they are at the top of the game. Again, we have Jenna. I think this is a venue for Jenna. She has such strong technique. Justine wants the title. Astrid wants the title. They're nervous, but they're, I think, really excited to show their stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going to get an opportunity here to check in with the judges' tent. We're looking at one of our tour athletes there. All right, there we have the Freeride World Tour judges on the binos looking up. How's the day been for you guys so far, Lolo?
Yeah, so in the judges' booth, the day has been awesome. Incredible level on the Snowboard Men categories, particularly with Cody showing off incredible skills at the really top. Yeah, I'm out of words, and I'm still using incredible everywhere. And obviously, YETI and Ho, what again a run, crazy. We are just amazed by what we've just seen.
The title is so tight with the ski women. You have 4 women in contention, 2 right behind each other. How intense is it for you as judges to make sure you're making the correct decisions?
So first of all, the judges are not checking on the overall ranking. We really want to make sure that we're judging this competition like any other and not being influenced by the current standing. What's sure, and looking at what the boys have done so far, is we are going to look for commitment. There is heaps of stuff to do. Will the girls will show what they did in Fieberbrunn. That's just a matter of seconds from now.
All right, Lolo, we saw in the ski men's category specifically, the snow conditions really play a big part in the success or lack of success in some of those runs. How do you feel that the snow conditions are developing through the categories?
The snow conditions, I think we weren't expecting to watch and to see so many men starting from start 2. So I guess the girls probably have been watching the live on their phone on the top, and they're probably readjusting their line choices. I think from now, start 2 seems to be like a slope, but definitely very well tracked. Start 1 and start 3 with heaps of features and untracked places, so hopefully they're going to change their lines if they haven't, going into those areas, which would be perfect.
All right, thank you, Lolo Best, commissioner of the Freeride World Tour. We see Coach's Corner here. We've got Seb Michaud and Kevin Guri, both legends on the Freeride World Tour. Kevin has won on this face. Seb with one of the most iconic moments ever on the Freeride World Tour. Surely the biggest backflip anyone's ever done on tour. Both of those guys now coaching younger athletes on the tour, giving back to the community, giving them their experience as we are moving towards ski women. We know that these women are hungry. We know they have the skill and the talent. But interesting what Lolo said. Are they going to use a little bit of strategy, Hadley, after watching what we saw from the ski men to give themselves the best opportunity for success here?
I think certainly the ones that are good at competing will. You know, this isn't just go out and ski your best. Freeride World Tour is all about competing as well. It's about strategy, it's about adjustment, it's about mental headspace. It is not as simple as pick a line and ride it to the best of your ability. There are so many factors that come into play, and the riders that do the best are the ones that consider each of those factors.
Exactly, and these are professional athletes. They know what they're doing just to get here, to make the cut, to get into the Xtreme Verbier and make the cut for the following season. They have had to have that competition savvy. Put it on the line when it's the right time to put it on the line. Maybe hold back a few beats, you know, take it down 6, as they say, at the time, depending on what the situation requires. The ability to read what the situation requires is now what's in play in all of the ski women's minds.
Certainly, though we say that, and they proved kind of the opposite in Fieberbrunn, as the conditions were quite firm, and the women putting some of the biggest cliffs that we've seen ski women hit ever, and I think they're running off of that energy. Look what we can do when the conditions are poor. Look at what we can do when we have the opportunity to go big, and they stepped up in a huge way.
Yeah, gas pedal was glued to the floor in Fieberbrunn. We expect nothing less there. You see Jenna Keller, Justine Dufour-Lapointe just catching up, making some last-minute plans up there in the sunshine. These are our two main contenders, Astrid Chelus and Justine Dufour-Lapointe, effectively tied at the top. I mean, Justine is in the lead, but the lead is slim. And both Jenna Keller and Malia Armanino with an outside chance, with a win, if Justine and Astrid are off the podium. There's so many permutations and combinations that this could go. None of that's in their heads, and as Lolo said, they're not even considering that in the judges' tent. They're judging what they see, and the numbers will fall where they fall. The crowd is thick out here in Verbier. It's an absolute glorious day for freeride spectating. The sun is out, sitting just around the 0 mark, so the snow is staying cold, except in the direct sun, and we saw that come into play in both ski and snowboard men, so we'll see how the women are able to handle those conditions.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing what Mother Nature built for free riders. Can you imagine the most perfect big mountain comp venue with a lift right up to it? We can see there the riders in start 3 on the main Bec. Ooh, what a place to begin your run.
All right, well, our first athlete out of the gate is Lily Bradley, riding out of Palisades in Lake Tahoe. They took a win in Fieberbrunn with an absolutely iconic run, just full queen down the mountain and full throttle. There is no brakes on the Lily Bradley runaway bus, and the line that they have planned out here is going to be no exception. Big airs, full commitment, and Lily Bradley is on the Bec.
On the Bec, right onto these steep slopes. California rider, but they are well equipped to ride anything steep as well.
Yeah, Lily Bradley kind of thrives off of pace. They ski so fast, taking that one perfect. So now the confidence is going to be riding high. The adrenaline starts to settle down. You know, so many athletes say, once I push out of the start gate, I kind of lose the nerves, lose the fear. And Lily Bradley now in the steepest part, you can see the slough just cascading down below their skis.
Look what is below them.
No. Lily Bradley going for the backflip. They came up a little short, but they are under control, got control of their skis. So there was no chill in that run. We saw Virgile Didier do the exact same thing, and Lily with the same kind of veteran self-arrest skills. What are we even looking at? Lily Bradley going for just incredible, incredible commitment. Lolo said they wanted commitment. They gave it to the judges in spades as Lily Bradley now 1 ski above and 1 ski below.
Let's go back and look at this. I mean, right off the top, smart. This is exactly like Vergil's run. Getting that setup air, getting the confidence, testing the landing, and then just straight in to this back flip. Looks like potentially popped a little too late. Skis getting gobbled right up.
Yeah, you can see here as they press into the snow, there was no feedback from the feet. Lily still able to get it 3/4 of the way around and just scorpioning into the ground. You'll see here that miss pop, just a little, I don't know, I think a little off timing, a touch late. I mean, the heart in the throat in that moment. And then Lily able to stop themselves very quickly as we know what's underneath there. There is no room for a long fall, and Lily's ski there going for just a short run as the ski runner is going to have to come and collect the rest of Lily Bradley's gear. But they were looking to make a statement on the Bec. Unsuccessful, but I'd say statement still made.
Statement made. I think Lily is one of those riders that is most interested in pushing what is possible. They want this field to be maxing out. In their mind, the limit has not been reached, and they are going to continue to push it. I mean, if we remember their first backflip in Spain to the moon, Lily with the huge air in Fieberbrunn. Just one of the most exciting riders to watch, and I'm already excited for 2026.
Oh, yeah, big time. You know, we'll see. Let's keep in mind also that Lily is coming off of a knee injury from last year. So if we get a whole and healthy Lily Bradley next January in Bakira, look out this field, because this statement is made. There is no chill in this rider. Not the day today, but still fully going for it, committed. You know, I'll say it again. Lolo said we're looking for commitment. Lily Bradley delivering that by the shovelful, as now they're just waiting to be reconnected with the equipment. And Lily Bradley, I'm curious, I guess maybe the same way as Vergil, the exit out of there is not actually that simple.
No, it's certainly not. They still have a bit of skiing below them. Look how small they look on this venue. The rocks huge, the features looming.
All right, well, the ski runners getting to work there. We'll see how many more athletes want to get into that start 3 zone. I know there's at least one more in the ski women's category. The crowd's lining the ridge tops here. The Alpina spectator zone firing. We've got they'll be setting up the podium down there, the big Peak Performance airbed. That's got to be the best seat in the house, just cruising beachside here in Verbier for the 30th edition of the Xtreme Verbier. This competition just never fails to deliver every single year. I think the combination of wanting to win in Verbier, of the pressure of the cut and qualifying for next season being off, the riders are feeling free to just express themselves at their absolute full potential. Find the line. Maybe, you know, for many of these ski men, there's one included, pass a little bit over the line in the attempts going down as we see the overhead view. This place is just so special, so magical in the world of freeride.
Yeah, there's really the way that the format works, the way that these athletes can showcase everything, and on a venue that's so steep and requires such good technical skiing. And the fact that these riders, as we said, are deciding to trick it. Look at where Lily put a backflip on this venue. Huge.
And getting the Daffy into the finish. Lily Bradley, that's a run they can be proud of. And I think they are. Big smile. All right, well, no score for Lily Bradley. But as you said earlier, Hadley, statement made, pushing the bar for skiing on the Bec as we are going to move through this category. Ski women is where we are right now. We have 1 rider down, 6 in the field in total as we are looking at the Bavarian Barbarian. Lena Kohler has brought the thunder this year. She's got 2 podiums to her name already, riding for Peak Performance and Scott, the Freeride World Tour sponsors. Dream athlete, coming on as a rookie, but not skiing like a rookie. Multiple podiums in her first year on tour, and Lena Kohler dropping in at a start 2.
Straight into this steep technical section, and that's gotten pretty eat up now by all the men. Lena making her way through, finding that entrance right above the closeout. She's got one air to hit above.
Yeah, this air, you know, don't play it short. It's super committing because there's nothing under you but cliffs. Lena Kohler making short work of that in full control. Now going to be looking to get the right angle. Oh, going for the upper deck. Is she going to be able to hold it? Bouncing out of the backslap, and she's up. No! Down again. That angle has been really, really difficult today. We saw Ben Richards going down on that one and a few others in the ski men, and Lena Kohler, another victim to that takeoff angle on the Fashionat closeout cliff.
You know, it's really challenging. They have so much, 30 years of historical data, but the athletes still have to make adjustments to the conditions as they are, and that is stuff that you'll see the rookies struggle with a little bit and the veterans really understand.
Yeah, exactly. So Lena Kohler now skipping that Heartbreak Hotel feature that took down so many of the other athletes. You can see just by the way she's moving on the snow, this section of the face that was in the sun earlier, it's almost directly east facing. There's a crust on the surface. For a skier that good to be looking that tentative in it, just as I said it, it grabbed her ski there. So it's tricky snow over on the lower left side of the Petit Bec.
Not the day this rookie wanted, but for someone that was coming in just excited to ski, she's done studying. Potentially she's...
Yeah, it kind of looked like she was holding her leg there, and that could also account for the way Lena skied the lower section. That one may have yeah, she's got some discomfort in her leg, but she's down. She's safe and sound after her first trip down the Bec. For many of these riders, just getting that first one under the belt is key.
Yeah, just coming down off the Bec. We'll see, here's that top. Again, like, this air is huge. You've got so much exposure down below you, setting herself up. And again, she took the biggest way down.
Oh, that landing is just rough. And Lena getting bounced and then trying to stop. I think maybe that's where the leg discomfort came from, getting the skis across the fall line. She had the option there, and you only have a split second to decide. Do what Ross Tester did and Elizabeth Gerritsen back in the day, point it, and then you just got to wait and you're at gravity's mercy, or you try to turn and slow down, and the snow on that skier's left side is grabby, it's thick, and it's dense, and not able to get the speed back under control with that turn. So Lena Kohler going down, big dock on control, but her skis didn't come off, so she will be at least one ahead of Lily Bradley from that, with the rest of the ski women's field still up top. All right, well, the judges have had their say, and the score for Lena Kohler, a 48-3-3, so she will take on the hot seat.
Well. Nice job this season, dude.
And these are the moments that make Freeride so special. These riders have shared the entire season together, battling back and forth, but at the end of the day, they are comrades, sisters in arms, and just doing it together. And all of them, more than anything, want all the other riders down safe at the end of the comp. So happy to see Lena and Lily down there. Lena moves into the hot seat as we go back up to start 3. Our next rider in the gate, one of the most electric athletes on the Freeride World Tour, Kirkwood's Molly Armanino, taking the win at Kicking Horse. Again, a rider who thrives off confidence. When things are going well for Molly and we see her ski to her full Molly potential, she can deliver some of the finest moments on the Freeride World Tour. She's going out of the same start gate as Lily Bradley. Similar line, I think, as they studied and worked together on the scoping, as we are now seeing Molly Armanino dropping in on the Bec.
Dropping in on the Bec. As you said, these athletes, Lily and Molly, without coaches here, so they relied on each other, evaluating the snow over here, evaluating the airs as Molly makes her way over to this first warm-up, massive warm-up air. Perfect 4-point landing, just finding that transition. That snow is hard, and Molly is able to stay right in front, right over her skis.
Yeah, Molly was a little nervous about that one, and then Lily just told her, it's fine, you've got it, like, don't even worry about it. And the confidence you get after you land your first air, you're like, oh yeah, I do got it, I can do this. And Molly Armanino now with those trademark technical turns, she's opted out of the air that Lily took the backflip on, but as the camera pans out, you'll see what's below her, a huge cliff looming. Molly Armanino now, this snow looks tricky, Hadley, a bit of a crust on it.
It definitely does have a crust. The athletes were worried about the slough, about the takeoff, the rocks, and just look at what is below her. We can hear the crowd ramping up as Molly comes towards the edge of this cliff.
Yeah, a tight little gap. She points it, follows the slough, and oh, the impact just too much for Molly Armanino to handle. Going down hard there. Both skis, hands up though. Molly, that's another one to be proud of. She absolutely sent it off there. That landing looked really firm, Hadley, and it's not that steep.
It's not steep, and it's really firm. Talking to both Lily and Molly yesterday, I just kept telling them this thing is going to have impact. The snow underneath is firm. The snow underneath is, the transition is flat, and those girls just said, we don't care. We've got this. We've stomped big things, flat things before. So let's see Molly making her way back. Again, this top confidence-building air, perfect landing.
That one nice and steep, and you can see Molly's connection to the snow almost effortless. Now she's in this little tube. All she has to do is let go, follow the slough. She makes it down to the landing, but it's so flat. The back slap absolutely ruthless as Molly comes out of both skis there, tumbling down. This drone angle gives you a sense of the scale of how far Molly traveled down there in the air.
Oh, and just barely left a track where she was. That's how you can tell how firm that snow was.
Yeah, and for some context, Wei Tian Ho looked at that air and decided it was too big for him to take on into that flat landing. But Molly wasn't to be deterred. She went for it. Full send. Molly Armanino. Wow, well, we're 3 skiers in. We don't have a clean run down yet, but Molly is reunited with the equipment. The ski runner's getting busy, and this one was on the scene quick.
Very quick. As we see Lena in the hot seat looking up at her friend again. They want to win, and they also want to make sure their friends are all good.
Lena Kohler sitting in the hot seat. Molly Armanino just looking to get her skis back on. Hopefully she's okay. Sometimes the adrenaline spike after a big drop like that will make you feel like you're okay, but then as the adrenaline starts to course out of your body, you realize, I mean, at the very least, she's going to be feeling pretty banged up, but hopefully, big picture, she's all right. Looks like she's moving a little bit gingerly, though.
Yeah, it looks like that left leg, she's not wanting to put a ton of pressure on. Glad to have the ski ninja by her side. This place is, the consequences on the Bec cannot be stated firmly enough. They're real. It's a cheese grater. It's firm. The airs are huge on this venue.
Yeah, and I think, and Molly's run just there is a bit of a testament to it. Over in that transition section between the Big Bec and the Petit Bec, the landings flatten out quickly, especially down at the bottom. But never mind that, we are back to the top with Verbier's own Jenna Keller. Jenna sitting in 3rd overall, riding a wave of momentum. She's got a couple of podiums in a row, both Kicking Horse and Georgia finishing in 2nd. And Jenna Keller in her backyard competing at home on the Bec.
In her backyard, you know, this morning she said, oh, I'm worried about, you know, getting down here smoothly. And I said, if anyone can get down with technique, with control, it is you. She can put herself on her downhill ski, as we're seeing right in front of us. So controlled, so smooth, so powerful.
In her time between Freeride World Tour comps, Jenna Keller is training ski instructors here in Verbier, and there you go. Technique to spare as Jenna perfectly executing that Geraldine Fashionat close out cliff, and now getting into the meat of the Bec des Roses. Jenna Keller lining up another feature, getting the corner off that and heading into this technical section. There is the Heartbreak Hotel looming below. Hopefully Jenna's learned from the riders before her the angle and the speed you want to take off that. Yes, that's where you need to land. While it may have felt like she slowed down too much, she's the first person to ski away from that on her feet today.
Yeah, no ski men were able to make it through. Jenna, as we said, she made the adjustments. She heard the information, picked the right one.
Oh, and really fighting with that crusty snow. That east-facing aspect has been baked. The surface now has a firm layer on it that when you break through, it can send your skis off on their own separate adventures, which is not something any skier wants. But Jenna Keller safely through the arch and clean at the bottom of the Bec, and the home crowd going wild for their hometown hero.
It's not over till you're through that arch. That was a nail biter at the end, but Jenna really showing how strong of a technical skier she is with that run.
Well, and she needed to use it all. Jenna Keller, we see here up at the top. Hadley, this air is so committing as you're above all the cliff. All the judges' bars are firing into the green.
Yeah, and you see perfect transition, perfect landing, just ready to make that next turn, which shows that she knew exactly what to do with her speed. Super smart on the heartbreak cliff of the day. You may look like she's going slow, but actually she's just making the right speed adjustment here.
Yeah, sometimes it's not just about going the biggest you can, it's about landing in the right place. And none of the ski men did it. Jenna Keller did do it, and that is the first one in ski women down to the bottom with a clean run. The judges' bars were high, Jenna Keller in the bottom, and we had a little moment where our heart skipped, where she was down on the apron, where one ski dug into the crust and kind of split off. So we're going to see the score coming in now, comfortably overtaking Lena Kohler, an 82 for Jenna Keller.
All smiles again. She has a chance to win this comp.
I don't think she's seen her score yet. It's hard in the sun to see the monitor there. But Jenna Keller is going to be taking over the Dina Star hot seat there. We're gonna run it again so Jenna can see it. 82-point run for the Verbier local.
Oh my God.
Seems almost overwhelmed there. Jenna said she was really having a hard time with the pressure of being from Verbier. Everyone stopping her in the streets going, let's go, you got this, do it for the hometown. And she was like, yeah, cool, but also like, yeah, so that added pressure of doing this at home in front of the home crowd is intense, but Jenna Keller lived up to it. Now we have one of our two big title contenders, and we had a chance to catch up with Astrid Chelus.
Being second on the ranking for the moment, it's an advantage for me because I'm gonna do my run whatever is gonna happen, and I'm gonna give my best.
Well, Astrid being in the position of the hunter right now. She's got, the target is on Justine's back. Astrid has it firmly in her sights, and the La Clusaz local athlete coming from France. This is her second year on the tour. She has been in this position before, but in reverse, where she had the golden bib last year. Now, Astrid Chelus with an opportunity to step into the pressure and deliver a run that will deliver her a world title. Astrid Chelus now on the Bec. Oh, and immediately grabbed by a shark, a rock, the first rock on the face takes her ski. We've watched people fly through that section all day, and you almost take it for granted. But as it's seen more and more traffic, more rocks come out, and Astrid Chelus falling victim to a rock at the very top, that is unbelievably heartbreaking for Astrid.
Oh, that is not the run that she wanted, just so tricky. As you said, Derek, that top section can't be understated. You're right out, it's super steep, and we've had an entire category, 2 categories run through it. So heartbreaking for the rider that, again, really has the skill set to win this tour.
Well, and you can see the culprit there, that rock that's sitting just above her ski as we look at the replay, Hadley.
Just 1, 2, and right on that third turn, the rock just took her ski.
Yeah, her entire weight was focused on the downhill ski as it connected with the rock, and there was just no way she could. It was almost like she needed to start facing the other way so she could wrap underneath it. But there's so many things pouring through a rider's mind in those moments. She makes that turn. She can't get away from the trajectory, and that ski just comes to a dead stop for Astrid Chelus, and it's over before it begins. So her Oh, that is the true heartbreak of Freeride there. From watching Jenna execute at home a perfect run to Astrid standing there in the start gate and a blink of an eye and the run is over. That is absolutely gutting for Astrid Chelus, as she was just looking to, like she said in the interview, she doesn't have the pressure of the lead. She just wanted to do her run and see the way that was going to shake out.
We can see Justine at the top. We're probably receiving this information, and in some ways, maybe that's information that will make you feel confident, but Justine still has to do a run. Jenna's right on her tails, and another rider that's not there just to safely take the win. She wants to prove that she wins for a reason.
Yeah, you could see the intensity on Justine Dufour-Lapointe's face. This is a woman who understands pressure. 2 times she had the weight of a nation on her shoulders at the Olympic Games and delivered medal-winning performances. She understands how to perform under pressure. This is the same but different, you know. She has the entire Bec looming underneath her. She also has Jenna Keller sitting in the hot seat, and if Astrid and Justine finish off the podium, Jenna still can be world champion. So it is possible. As we see Astrid Chelus making her way off the face, I mean, I can only imagine what she's going through emotionally right now, the heartbreak. But we are going to see, I mean, Astrid is only 20 years old. She has a long, long career ahead of her on the Freeride World Tour and has unlimited potential to deliver mind-blowing moments. We've already seen them this year. Her win in Val Thorens was absolutely epic. She's got the entire package. I have no worries that we're going to see Astrid Chelus as a world champion.
Not at all. I think we'll see her as a world champion. We'll see her as really cementing herself as one of the best, if not the best, of her generation. Like you said, she's got tricks, she's got technique. Such a kind person as well. Her future is incredibly bright.
So as Astrid makes her way down the bottom apron on the Petit Bec here in Verbier, we only have one woman left at the top. The pressure stacked up on Justine Dufour-Lapointe. As we said, she's got Olympic gold and silver. She has a Freeride World Tour overall title under her belt. All right, we're going to still stay tuned here on Astrid as she's going to... there it is. The emotion just fully hitting her. The intensity here of Freeride. Astrid Chelus with... I mean, heartbreak is the only way to describe it. She wanted it so bad, and I think maybe more than anything, she wanted to deliver a performance that she could be proud of, that raises the bar for skiing. And totally capable of doing that, but not today, unfortunately. Now we go back up to the top. Justine Dufour-Lapointe. Oh, we're going to focus in. We've got the the Astrid cheer squad there looking up. I love those signs, the homemade signs, the fans just riding behind these athletes, willing them on to succeed. And let's not forget just the consequence, the real world consequence that these athletes are facing, falling at the top of the Bec there. So there's our standings right now, Hadley. Jenna, Lena Kohler, Molly Armanino in third with a no score. So, I mean, that's where we're at in skiing right now. These athletes leaving nothing on the table. Canadian ski royalty, Justine Dufour-Lapointe, looking for another Freeride world title. The peak performance rider, as I said before, she is very comfortable performing under pressure. We wondered if riders would stick with start 2, knowing how beat up it was. Well, Astrid, Jenna, and Justine all choosing to just stay on the plan and execute as best they can. Right now, we are ready for the final ski women, a world tour title at stake here. Justine Dufour-Lapointe on course.
Dropping in, she'll have to ski right past that heartbreaking moment of Astrid's, getting in to the venue as quick as she can as she lines up. Again, this top air, which cannot be ignored at all. You're right over the closeout with consequence as she's able to do it no problem, finding the transition and getting back into control as she spots her takeoff and her landing in the Geraldine Fastnacht closeout.
So Justine taking her time, getting the trajectory right, landing clean, and so far executing well, in control. The snow up there, especially as the tracks get dug in, starting to be extremely tricky. Justine Dufour-Lapointe now coming down to the same section that we saw a few other riders go. This feature was playing nice with the athletes, but the one below it, not so much. Now, is Justine going to roll the dice and toss a backflip off this, or will she play it safe? Jenna took a nice approach on this and got the trajectory perfect. Justine, smart riding. Now she still has to get through this weird crust. We saw it give Jenna a little moment of heart attack for us. Justine needs to be anywhere on the podium with Jenna in first, and she can still attain that Freeride World Tour title. She's cheering. I'm not cheering until she's through the finish arch safely. And she is down, and I think with Molly Armanino in third with a no score, that's going to be better than a no score, and she feels good about it.
She feels good. I think she knows that she's got that title in her pocket. Let's go back and look again. As you said, this top section, she's so good at hitting the airs, getting into control, lining up the next section. Yeah, and I think she was really smart knowing how much traffic has gone through both of these airs that she needed to take a different trajectory and a different speed in order not to land into the bomb holes.
Yeah, Justine catching the corner off of this one and jumping over the traverse track, reconnecting smoothly with the ground, and then this is where all of our hearts were in our mouth. Was she going to go all in and send a flip? No. Really smart riding there from Justine Dufour-Lapointe. She learned, and that is the moment that tells you the whole story for Justine Dufour-Lapointe. We got to wait for the scores to come in to say anything officially. The Mammut line tracker, a fall line approach, a sensible, smart, strategic approach from Justine Dufour-Lapointe. Sometimes it's time to get on the gas. Sometimes a little bit of feathering on the brake is necessary. So here we go. The score dropping in for Justine Dufour-Lapointe, a 77-point run. That puts her into second, and that is going to do it. So let's just digest. We have a Verbier local as the extreme winner, and we have Justine Dufour-Lapointe as a Canadian world champion on the back.
Exciting day for these women. I mean, standing up there, she must have been full of nerves.
Oh, and she had a front row view to what happened to Astrid there, and you could see she took a more aggressive fall line approach on the entry. They're hugging the Freeride World Tour team manager for peak performance, well, the international team manager. Here we go. This is our standings for the day.
Verbier local Jenna Keller taking the win, her first win on the back, well-deserved. Justine clinching the title in second, Lena Kohler with third place, and then unfortunately no scores for fourth, fifth, and sixth. Heartbreak day for these three riders, but again, three riders that we are not worried about their future. They are pushing the sport. They are showing what can be done.
Wow, well, again, similar to ski men, the ski women, tricky conditions out there and various levels of success. Heartbreak and glory in freeride, that's the name of the game. Riders who succeeded today, as we see our podium. Jenna Keller, the Verbier local, taking the win, stepping into the shoes of Sybille Blangeon and Elizabeth Gerritsen as people living right here. Justine Dufour-Lapointe coming second, and Lena Kohler on the podium again. Two peak performance suits on the podium there. I think Nick Lundgren is going to be happy with his crew as they lit it up on the mountain, and ski women delivering fireworks once again. This is the overall rankings. Hadley, wow.
Justine Dufour-Lapointe taking the World Championships. Jenna bumping herself up to second with that win in Verbier. Astrid on the podium with third. Lena, the rookie, in fourth. Molly, Lily, and Susanna qualifying their way into next year. We will see them 2026. Cannot wait.
Ski women, absolutely electric as always. This category never fails to deliver fireworks, and these riders just pushing the limits of what's possible on skis in the mountains. I love watching it. I know you guys do at home too. It's just such an exciting time in skiing and snowboarding right now. All right, we are gonna head down to the finish area. with our newly crowned two-time Freeride World Tour champion. Justine, describe the emotion of winning the title on the Bec today.
It's amazing. I feel like it's unreal. It's been such a long and intense season, and to win this title again, I don't have any more word than this. I'm just so stoked, and thank you so much for everyone who cheer for me and support me. I feel really happy right now and so blessed, so thankful. So thank you so much.
How was it standing up there at the top, knowing that you needed to have a clean, safe, winning run to get down?
I mean, it's always a lot of nerve. The stress up there was really high for everyone. But when I knew what I had to do was to keep a really clean line, stay on my feet. I mean, I was nervous because this is something I'm not used to just do simple. I'm used to do backy. But it was so fun, and I'm just so proud of how I managed this whole season, and especially today with all the stress. I think I really did good, but I'm so proud also of the field, the women field. They've been pushing this season all the way. Look at Lily! Oh my God, she did a backy up there. That was so sick. But also, like, this group of women are legendary, and to be part of it, I'm just so blessed and feel really honored. So thank you very much to watch us girls, because we rock!
You
Woo!
do rock, and we are extremely proud of all of you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Huge congratulations. Two-time Freeride World Tour champion Justine Dufour-Lapointe and Jenna Keller locking it down for the Verbier locals, winning here on the Bec. Ski women delivering another electric performance. We are coming back to you right away with Snowboard Women. Don't you dare tune out. Welcome back to the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda. This is the grand finale, 2025 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance, traversing the globe and finding ourselves in the ancestral home of freeride that is Verbier, the Bec de Ross, providing the canvas for the best riders on the planet. My name is Derek Boos. I am joined by former Freeride World Tour standout Hadley Hammer and Hadley. We are 3 down, 1 to go. Snowboard Women still at the top, the only one still stressing up there.
Still stressing indeed. We go and look back at these extreme moments that came here out of Geraldine Fastnut, a cliff still named after her on this venue, as we look back into the 3-time Bec winner here in 2002, riding straight from the top. Just the technical expertise of Geraldine, setting the bar high. Women like Marion and Naomi following up with success.
Yeah, an icon on the Freeride World Tour. I saw Geraldine this morning, all smiles. So stoked to be here, to still be continuing her involvement in freeride. And so many of the snowboard women were just running over to her, asking her questions. That is a fountain of knowledge, an absolute, like, one of the best resources you could get for the current crop of snowboard women athletes. So here we we go. This is what it looks like so far. Noémi Equy is Freeride World Tour champion. 30,000 points, an unassailable lead. She was crowned in Fieberbrunn. She now has effectively a victory lap on the back. Noémi Equy in her first season on the Freeride World Tour, she is champ. But who is going to be second? We have Michaela Davis-Meehan right there. Anna Martinez would love to jump over, and Nuria Caston as the final qualifier. She wants a win on the back. She got the win last year in the restage on the Petit Bec, but an Xtreme Verbier title is something that every single Freeride World Tour rider would love to have. And her chance is right away. She will start first, reverse order. Anna right behind her, Michaela dropping in third, and Noémi Equy dropping in fourth. As we said, she has won the overall, but my gut instinct that is she's still going to want to prove that she is the best, and to take a win for the overall and on the Bec is a great way to end your season. Yeah, Noémi has 3 wins already this season on the tour and a second, so she might as well back that up with a win on the Bec, but it's not going to be easy for her as the rest of the snowboard women's field are looking to put their stamp on this face as we look over at start 3. An extremely difficult access point for the riders. They have to hike up. We're looking here now at the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. 97% of you voting that Noémi Equy will stand on the podium here today. 85% for Anna Martinez and Nuria Caston-Baron, with 74% of the popular vote. Peak Performance Fun Bet Fantasy Freeride, your opportunity to get in the game and have your say on who you think will do what here on the Freeride World Tour. Yeah, as you can see, here's that track that cuts across to start 3, which that alone is puckering for the riders. I'm sure you at home would also be puckered. It's quite an intense way even to get over to your beginning start, and these riders taking off a piece of the proper Bec. And Nuria, a goofy foot rider, so she was doing that on her heel side edge with the entire Bec just looming down there in front of her face. When you can be on your toe side traversing, you can get your hands involved if you need to. You also don't have to look at the exposure below you the whole time. So let's just spare a moment for Nuria's traverse to the start gate. That gets your heart rate ramped way up before you even drop in for your run. So Nuria Caston-Baron will be dropping out of start number 3. I think that's a wise choice given how beaten up start 2 has gotten from the 1 snowboard category and 2 ski categories that have already run. 27 years old, sitting in 4th overall. Nuria was below the cut, jumped up above it in Fieberbrunn with her performance there, finds herself on the Bec and qualified for next year. And the goofy-footed rider, you can see she's got her back sticking out of the start gate there, because that's how it goes when you're a goofy-footer. She wants to be on the toe side edge to get this thing started. And now Nuria getting her run going. Yeah, coming from a coastal village, loving snowboarding from day one, and you can see the energy and the love pouring through her riding as she makes her way through this incredibly exposed, steep section, weaving around rocks. The intensity of what Nuria is living right now is absolutely maxed off the scale. It's so steep, it's so scary, and she now is into it. And the snow looks relatively predictable on this side, which I think is, again, a wise choice for line selection for Nuria, riding over here instead of at a start 2 and making her way through this just absolute maze of rocks down the Bec de Rosse. Sending slough down below her as she lines up her air into this section. She's got to control her speed, control the slough around her, commits into it, right back onto that heel side edge. Again, like we said, this side of the venue has more consistent snow. I think the riders are able to really dig in and use it and know what's coming when they apply the pressure. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily better snow. You can see it's not that deep because the wind has had more effect on this side, but it is consistent and predictable. It doesn't have that weird crust on it that we saw on other parts of the face, as Nuria now just clinging to the edge of this mountain with a single edge popping off this, still has exposure below her, flying off that, and Nuria now motoring down the bottom part here of the Bec de Rosse. She hasn't made a turn since that last air, just keeping it pointed in the fall line. I think at this point it's just like hurry up and get to the finish. Exactly.
making her way through, enjoying a few extra last turns of this competitive season and through the start gate here in Verbier.
And a big reception there at the bottom as
sketchy and gnarly, and look at our screen. That is exactly what I see, peppered with rocks, so steep, requiring, as Lolo wanted, full commitment. Look at what is below her, Derek.
Yeah, this face just takes no prisoners. Nuria popping off that feature and then turning it into a double, going full fall line, laying the tail of her board in to give her that control that she needed on the apron. So Nuria Caston-Baron, the first one from Snowboard Women, and safe and sound, a clean run down the back, and from there it was just a home run to the finish arch as Nuria Caston-Baron taking a very direct line out of start 3 all the way down this face. All right, well, the score coming in a 74 for Nuria, so that's going to set the bar for the remaining 3 women up at the top in the Snowboard Women's field. The last category of the day, riders definitely needing to make some strategic choices on their line selection, as some of the other starts have seen a lot more traffic and snow definitely changing. So, all right, well, that is Nuria taking over the hot seat, catching up with the Spanish friends up top, or sorry, down the bottom, as we go back up top to our next rider in the gate, Chamonix local. This is Ana Martinez, looking at a second from Spain and a second from Kicking Horse. Ana Martinez is one that would be very hard to overlook in this field. Riding out of Chamonix, she is very comfortable in the steeps. The steeper, the better for the Chamonix local. And now she is looking to really get things going here on the Bec. She has an opportunity to step up, all to play for second and third overall in the Snowboard Women's category. And I think Anna would absolutely love to jump over a couple of riders and put herself up there.
Exactly, and I think she wants to remind everyone watching of how capable she is as a snowboarder. She has these 2 second place podiums. She's so strong, so fit, CrossFitter, such a good rider, and I imagine that she's excited to light up this face.
Yeah, sliding out of the start gate. You've got that first step on the heel side edge that now she's on the toe side, I think a little bit more comfortable to make her way on this traverse. You can see some of the old tracks from the other riders as Anna getting right into the heart of it. The snow just cascading over, as you called it, the cheese grater of rocks on the back, and Anna opening things up with an air immediately out of the start gate.
Yeah, always good to get that first air in, get the confidence building as she rides with momentum towards this next feature. On her heel side edge, creating the speed control, another cross court, little bit of a butt drop here as she continues on. Let's see what she gets the rest of this venue.
And those features are really hard to commit to. Anna landing on the heel side edge rather than with her board pointing straight down the fall line. And that is 100% to control the speed, because the speed comes at you quick, as Ana Martinez now getting into this lower maze section where there are so many options and still so many rocks and cliffs looming below. Popping off that one, a nice clean landing as again for Ana Martinez, as she's way over on the rider's right side of the back.
Yeah, and here we start to have similar conditions to the other side of the venue. It's getting thicker, it's getting deeper. You can see how deeply trenched her tracks are.
Yeah, Anna getting a little bit plugged up on this section as she kind of eyes up where she is on this face, and then straight off the nose, and another one still below. So Ana Martinez using every feature available to her as she lines up a sizable chunk of rock clean through there as well. And now she just has to navigate the lower apron on the Bec, as Ana Martinez has done the hard work and now just needs to get herself to the finish.
Yeah, we can see these riders, the motivation there to just get down, get to the finish is so high. They have their whole season behind them.
Yeah, as you said, for Nuria's run, Hadley, this moment where you cross the line, Anna popping, getting the grab there through the finish line. This moment, that wraps up the entire season. All the training, all the mental prep work, all the different line scoping just sheds off your shoulders in that moment as we take a look back here at Anna's run.
Yeah, you can see how steep this section of the venue is, how much it requires good speed control, because once you put the board in the fall line, you are going to be going Mach Schnell in no time.
Yeah, so you can see the line score really pumping for Anna Martinez, as this is the one where the board was sideways, and I'll give her credit for that. It kind of had to be, because look how quickly, even in the belly of that turn, she's accelerating. All of those things coming into play in the riders' minds as they are riding down this enormous, intimidating face. And then Anna Martinez getting over on this side where the snow is a bit deeper and a bit denser, redirecting off that cliff to finish up her run.
Exactly. You can see all these cliffs. They don't have the same takeoffs as they had in years past. It's lower tide, so rocky. The rocks are coming back at you in a lot of places. An intimidating view when you're taking off.
Yeah, the Bec really showing its teeth to the riders. As you say, when the rocks are pointing uphill at you when you're above them, that gets in your head for sure, as it should.
Yeah.
The riders need to be strategic and smart with their riding, as we really don't want to see anybody go tumbling down the Bec. Anna now waiting for the score. So Nuria's run was clean, but Anna's line score for sure stood out a little bit in that. So the judges getting to work, weighing up the criteria of what the riders did on the face here, and that is going to determine the score, the number, and the ranking here in the Xtreme Verbier.
Not an easy job that the judges have, a job that they take so seriously. They've been prepping for days and for 30 years, really evaluating the Bec and how it scores.
I have only 2 bad checks. You had 2, I also had 2. Oh, I thought like 10 or more. Oh yeah, you put more? No, I don't know. I didn't remember. Okay.
The girls comparing butt check count. I think we only saw one serious one out of Anna.
Not last, but I didn't manage to traverse like you for the double. Oh, really? Yeah. So. Oh.
Yeah, you wanted to traverse on the top. Yeah, that's my plan at the beginning, but then I knew I was not gonna make it. But you dropped there. That's nice.
Yeah, improve.
Well, it's great to get the opportunity to eavesdrop on these conversations, and you get the sense of how the standard that the riders hold themselves to. You know, Anna definitely disappointed. I butt checked. Nuria was like, well, I did. You know, they really hold themselves to an extremely high standard of what they want to execute here. As we see on the split screen, the judges are comparing those two runs and really matching them up versus the criteria, Hadley, because they want to get it right. This is exactly what they're looking at right now.
Yeah, they can see where Anna made different control issues, different fluidity issues. She certainly hit quite a few more features than we saw Nuria. But both on the same side, both out of start 3. It's a tricky job for the judges, and as you said, the competitors are often their own worst judges.
Yeah, so that's probably one of the things that the judges really checking in on. Definitely some a control dock for Anna Martinez, but those Chamonix jump turns up above the high exposure at the very top, that kind of thing, that falls into the technique category, it falls into the control category. Even the line there in the steepest part of the venue, being able to execute turns like that shows a true mastery of snowboarding.
True mastery and true strength. And as you said, these riders get to shed the season today, but starting tomorrow, they're prepping for next year.
Hopefully they'll get themselves at least one day off. And here we see the score of Anna Martinez just underneath that of Nuria Caston-Baron. So Nuria holding off a huge challenger there, as these two snowboarders just sharing the moment and the relief of being done on the Bec and done with the 2025 Freeride World Tour season. So much stress just released from them, but there are 2 more riders that have the weight heavy on their shoulders up at the top of the Petit Bec. We have the next rider, the pride of Newcastle, Australia. She's been spending a ton of time in Revelstoke. It is Michaela Davis-Meehan, and she is riding a wave of confidence. She has been first, second in the last 3 comps. Michaela had a rocky start, similar to what we saw with Cody Bramwell, where a tough start, but once you get in the groove, once you click into how you need to do it and what needs to be done in the execution of it, then it's just, wow, I mean, they're fireworks. And so for Michaela Davis-Meehan, hopefully riding that wave of confidence onto the podium here in Verbier.
Yeah, she's riding the wave of confidence, but has lost her sort of closest companion, so she's navigating a little bit more alone. And, you know, she has to build that energy now herself, which is super important. Rely on her own confidence, rely on her own vision. Maybe doesn't have the same person to get that feedback from, but I think Michaela, you know, she has such strong experience in freeride and freestyle, and she is certainly one that can win on the Bec on any day.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking like she's opting for start one, so it's a bit more of a powdery experience. We did see a Belmoga get sharked out there, so Michaela's going to need to be light on her feet coming through here. As we said, out of Newcastle, Australia, spending a ton of time in Revelstoke, BC. Michaela Davis-Meehan looking to get it done, and I am not surprised one bit that she chose the powderiest side of this venue. That's where she thrives. That's where she is in her happy place. And Michaela now out of the start gate from start one.
You can see how many rocks just litter the top of this venue, making super technical turns in and around them, taking her first feature. Again, everything below is just rock. Had to land it. Did so without any issues and riding her way down through this shady section of the venue.
Yeah, and Michaela getting a grab off that first feature, so really with a nod to that air and style category. As she comes down now, we see the tracks ahead of her. This area is getting more traveled, or has been more traveled, as she's got this windlip popping the 360 a little short, but staying on her feet. I think maybe she didn't have quite as much speed into that windlip as she thought, but she did stay upright. So Michaela Davis-Meehan now on her campaign for Xtreme Verbier glory. As she comes in now, you see the heavy traffic that this part of the face has seen, and Michaela not only has to navigate the features, but all of those tracks as well.
Yeah, look how big the bomb holes are below this feature, just massive. Really smart, going a completely different direction, avoiding everything below her, getting control on that heel set edge, and here comes the heartbreaker. But I think she's taking a play out of the ski women. Whoa, finding her own takeoff and her own landing.
A totally different trajectory there for Michaela Davis-Meehan and executing it perfectly. So strategy coming into play. We saw that one taking down so many riders in other categories, ski, snowboard, men and women, and Michaela Davis-Meehan putting her own stamp on that one and finding a way to keep it clean and on her feet as she is through the arch, safe and sound at the bottom of the Bec.
You know, I think when you ride the Bec with someone else, that is a bond for life. Michaela making memories here and just showing great technical riding and unique by going out of that start that we didn't see too many people ride today.
Yeah, looking back at the way she opened this up, Hadley, a really strong way to start her run.
Yeah, past the bomb hole. I think that was Martin Bender's bomb hole potentially, and making her way every feature so smart that she hit was a different takeoff and finding her own fresh landing.
Yeah, 3 big hits on that run and all of them landing perfectly. Michaela coming off the rider's left side, finding a nice landing, able to manage that weird crusty snow that took down so many skiers and some of the snowboard men as well. So Michaela, all smiles in the finish, hands up, solid season of riding for the Australian there, as she right now is in 2nd overall. As we said, the title is not in play for Snowboard Women today. Noémi Equy locked that up, but a win on the Bec is almost as valuable in the trophy case. So the score to beat, 74, going up, 83 points for Michaela Davis-Meehan. So as we said, her last 3 comps, 1st, 2nd. The worst she can do here is 2nd now. So what a great finish to the season for the Aussie.
Great for the Aussie, and we appreciate all the Aussies watching currently right now. If that didn't wake you up, I don't know what would. Super exciting finish for Michaela Davis-Meehan.
And speaking of super exciting finishes, the last rider of the day here at the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda, is in the start gate. It is your Freeride world champion. We have a chance to catch up and see exactly how she's feeling before today.
I think being already crowned before like this comp in Verbier changed my mindset, yes and no. Like I always try to focus on my riding and do not think about like title ranking and whatever. So it's kind of both.
All right, well, there you have it. The pressure of the title is off, but she still feels the pressure of wanting to deliver her best performance on this face. That's what drives these riders. It's what fuels the fire that gives them the ability to do these superhuman things. And Noémi Equy, the Freeride World Tour champion, is on the back.
You can tell why she's champion already. Look at the pace that she had coming out of the start gating, moving so quickly. She's the rider that she can really move side to side on her board. She's so strong, making big sweeping turns like we've just seen. Full commitment in this really steep part of the venue.
This has been one of the hallmarks of Noémi's riding all season long, just the intensity that she goes out of the gate with. She keeps it moving, she keeps the pace going off the nose of that feature, getting control immediately with the heel side edge. She has the big mountain chops. She comes from the freestyle background. She was on the French slopestyle team, so we've seen her delivering 360s across the season, and Noémi Equy now proving the big mountain chops that she has riding out of Val Thorens, France. And really, I mean, this view below her, it really tells the story of how intense this face is.
It's so steep, it's so committing, and again, it's all about speed control here. You got to make your way through these features around these like really sharp rocks and be able to control that speed, stay right on top of your board, stay super square.
So Noémi following the track that we saw from Ana Martinez earlier and making her way still down, a little bit of a pause there. Control is everything up on this face. She's been riding for a while, but she's still so high on the mountain and there's so much exposure below her. So keeping things in check is absolutely critical, and Noémi doing a masterful job of that so far.
We can see her making her way down. There's this big looming double below her as she lines up, popping one.
Full release to the fall line. Noémi Equy holds it. That was so committed. The judges said they want a commitment. Noémi just gave it to them on a platter. Full speed, full throttle approach. She had to line it up perfectly to have the trajectory and then executed it like a world champion.
Exactly. You know, you saw her speaking to Geraldine this morning, and I don't know if which icon was more impressed with which other icon. We saw that with Lily and in Fieberbrunn with Nadine, and you could see it now, just the generations and how the women have just taken what has been done before them and then amplified it.
Well, relief there from Noémi Equy as we look back here, Hadley, at this replay.
Again, the fastest one out of the start gate. She goes full commitment and then setting up for this double. Oh no, this is the top. Just a single, a bunch of exposure, and here is that double, full gas. She didn't waver her board at all out of the fall line.
And you can see there in her bomb hole of the second drop on the double, just rock exposed. She pressed her tail over it, no problem though. The snowpack is a bit, well, quite a bit thinner than in other years, so exposing rock there, landing next to Nuria's bomb hole, with which also exposed rock, and you can see it there, but no problem for Noémi Equy. Michaela Davis-Meehan sitting in the hot seat, loving it. These riders, they want to see each other be successful. Of course they want to win. They want to stand on that top step, especially here more than ever, but they also want to see the other riders deliver, and then we just leave it with the judges.
Yeah, but even this one was challenging.
We have the easy job. Everyone else has the hard job. Here comes the score coming in for the current champion.
Oh, an 89.67. So backing up her world title with a win in Verbier, Noémi Equy. She is very rapidly approaching legend status, and she's only been on the tour for one season.
Rookie of the Year, easily titled. I mean, reminiscent of Marion Harity, she's just creating this gap in her riding of how strong she is, how creative her line choice is, and her full commitment.
Yeah, we may be witnessing the start of a new Snowboard Women's dynasty as Noémi Equy, 4 wins out of 6 starts on the Freeride World Tour this year. That is incredible, with an 89.67, Hadley, to take the win here.
89.67 on her tails, not far away. Michaela Davis-Meehan with a creative start out of start 1. In second, Nuria with 3rd place, and Ana Martinez coming in right behind her in 4th. really strong way to finish the Bec. Here is our podium snowboard women: Bec de Ross, Noémi Equy, Michaela Davis-Meehan, and Nuria Caston-Boron with the podium here today.
2 runs in the 80s for snowboard women. Nuria Caston-Baron with that 74. Incredible riding for the snowboard women on the Bec. They're all just giving so much credit to each other. The riders, they're pushing themselves. They're also pushing each other by pushing themselves. As we take a look now at the overall rankings, Michaela Davis-Meehan holding on to that 2nd spot, and Nuria Caston-Baron jumping onto the overall podium with her performance here today, landing herself the bronze medal. And all hail the new queen, Noémi Equy, world champion, backing it up, 42,000 points. Nothing but wins in her scoreline. And we are going to head down to the finish to check in with the world champion and the champion of the Xtreme Verbier. Noémi, you had the pressure of the title off, but the pressure of winning on the Bec still on your shoulders. How are you feeling now with that title under your belt?
Wow, I feel like super happy. It was definitely my goal for today. And I knew that even if I didn't make it, like, it was okay. I was super happy with my season, but it's really like something, again, that I can be really happy with this season. And yeah, so happy. It was like kind of a challenge to drop on the 3rd gate, and I'm super happy with this run.
Well, a huge congratulations, Noémi. That was an unbelievable performance, and you are truly the new queen of freeride with 4 wins this year and a world title in your first season on the Bec, first season on the tour. Massive congratulations. Noémi Equy is the champion of the world, champion on the Bec. Snowboard women, fireworks, 2 runs in the 80s. Incredible performances here. We will be right back. Don't go away. We'll wrap up the season shortly. Well, an absolutely electric day in Verbier to wrap up the season on the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance. Hadley, all 4 categories just delivered today.
Totally delivered. The Bec ate some skis. It made some champions. A lot of switch-ups still in the overall. I cannot believe it's over.
Yeah, just incredible moments all day long, all season long. These riders putting themselves on the line and truly raising the bar for freeride once again. Every year we think it's been raised, and then the next crop comes up and just steps it up another notch.
Totally, and the Bec always provides the backdrop for the potential of an iconic run, which we will see right away here with Cody. Both of our jaws were on the ground. What a way to open this venue.
The best tricks of the day, and Cody Bramwell, an absolute standout, doing it overexposure with incredible precision. He put himself right in the mix. He won here today, was almost able to take the world title there, but Victor De La Rue. Then we see that incredible backflip from Ross Tester.
Just massive.
Oh, sorry, that was Wei Tian Ho.
Which sealed him his first podium here on the Bec, which is career championship for him.
Yeah, the control that he was able to deliver to go then execute that 360 and then go get another feature. Wei Tian Ho just giving himself the day. And there we saw an unsuccessful backflip attempt from Lily Bradley, but still making one of the tricks of the day. Lily putting the bar through the top of the scale there for what's capable in skiing.
Exactly. They came and showed what we can do, and then you have Naomi not taking off any gas. She had the title and still with the win here with that full commitment double at the bottom of the Bec.
Unbelievable. The best tricks of the day. This group of people had their work cut out for them. Your Freeride World Tour judges done and dusted as they wrapped up their day. They had a lot of work to do today. Some of the runs that they had to compare were just simply incredible.
Really tricky day, really beautiful day. Again, the riding is just improved year after year, and there's no better place to improve it than the Bec de Ross.
Absolutely. So you at home have an opportunity now to tell us what you thought. FreerideWorldTour.com. Log on and vote for the rider of the day. This gets tougher and tougher by the competition. Every category and every rider is in play. So log on to FreerideWorldTour.com. You got the QR code there if you want to scan it and vote for your rider of the day. That rider will be extremely happy to get your vote, rider of the day. The Xtreme Verbier, the YETI Xtreme Verbier, powered by Honda, once again just delivering electric, iconic moments on this incredible face.
Yeah, and what a way to wrap up such an exciting season. Every venue saw the riders taking new lines, being really creative, handling the stress. What a ride.
What a ride indeed. It's been a season-long ride, and on behalf of the entire Freeride World Tour family, for myself and Hadley Hammer, thank you for joining us on this Freeride roller coaster. We're going to be back next year with the entire Freeride World calendar and the first ever FIS Freeride World Championships. We got a long summer to suffer through before we have Freeride again. Thank you so much for joining us. That is the 2025 season wrapped, and we'll see you next year.
Oh, I'm telling you, I can do a whole TV show just by sitting here and talking to you. When I'm excited, I'm gone. I can do that all night. Wow!
Oh, the old pit viper kicking horse.
Happy birthday
to let you know that you have earned a season wild card.
Fuck you. Let's go! What's this show?
You always annoy us with the stupid questions. Why?
Hey, ciao.
Allez,
Let's go to this. Let's go to stuff.
Oh my God, mountain goat.
That was crazy, dude.
Ciao tutti.
I want a beer.